Steady podcast. 今日までかけた愛が音を立てて崩れていく。信じられない最後の言葉にこうしているのにやっとの私。それでも笑って話せというの？とてもそれはできないわ。愛はあまりにも私を傷つけた。とても天使になれないわ。泣いて泣き疲れて眠るまで。
And better late than never, I guess. Episode 161 of the Fatherland, everybody. Sorry for the very late start. It's a confluence of things. For one, my wife was out with her, some of her friends, I guess. I'm not sure exactly what she was doing. I guess going to dinner. I don't know. So she was out doing that. So it fell to me then to be sure that Chicken got to bed at a proper time, because my mother-in-law is very bad at that and will let her stay up stupidly late. Because she just can't be the one who actually enforces rules. She wants to be the granny, that just gives out candy and never makes the kid do anything, that doesn't do any of the hard stuff. And that would be fine if she had her own place and she had, Granny's house, and then we take chicken over to Granny's house, and Granny can spoil her a little bit, but then it's time to go home. When she lives with you, it's different. So I had to go up there and make sure that chicken got to bed because, of course, sure enough, uh, I'm eating and it's 8:30, and I go upstairs and chicken is still sitting there watching television. In fact, she's even like, "Daddy, we discovered I found a place to watch Wonder Pets." And I was like, yeah, that's great, but you need to go to bed now." So had to take care of that. And then I don't know, I'm also kind of fucked up. I'm not sure why. I might be getting sick again. I don't know. I feel weird. I I mean, I was eating, and then I was sitting and letting my food digest so that I could be more on my game, and then I just realized, like, it's 10 o'clock, not like, you know, maybe 9 like I thought it was. So, yeah, sorry guys. Thanks to everybody who was hanging out in the chat room waiting. I'm dumb, so it took me a while to think, I should put something on just to have people have something to listen to. So that's why I put the samurai music on. We had that on for a while. Need to get some more of that stuff. Uh, yeah, I mean, today has just been a weird day for me. I mean, I've only got 2 nights off of work. I got to go back to work tomorrow night. So I think that's part of it. Um, Went to church this morning, uh, did that bit, and then we got out of church at like 9 o'clock, and my wife is like, "I want to go home and take a nap." And I was like, "Yeah, I do too. Damn." And of course, that's way too early for Chicken to take a nap. I mean, we've been trying to get her to take naps and more consistently, and having some success with it. And she's even admitted now that as much as she hates taking naps, they do help her feel better. Um, so, but it was too early for that. So yeah, I came home and went to bed, and I got up at like 5, and I was like just sitting and reading threads on NPC, sort of waking up, waiting for my pills to kick in. I might have done something wrong there. I think I might have taken too many pills, uh, because I normally I'll take one and sometimes two, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. Like, I definitely don't get like a woo or anything like that. It's just sort of like, okay. Very disappointing. I don't know if they've changed the formulation of the tablet or not. I don't know. But so today I was like, let's go for 3. What the hell? And now I feel kind of like messed up. So sorry. I don't even feel like woo, like you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even like Jim Carrey on cocaine. I'm just like fucked up in the head. I don't know how else to explain it. So thanks for your patience. And I figured that my difficulties were not so insurmountable that I could not still show up to do the show. Thanks for the encouragement from our guests in the chat. There's beer and snooze to stay up. Yeah, snooze helps with that for sure. All the various flavors of snooze. I've got General Snooze White right now, which what I like to do is I'll buy a couple of cans of one flavor and then rotate flavors, because after a while you stop really getting a sense of the flavor of the of the tobacco. You just kind of get, blind to it. So I'll switch them up. But yeah, the white is good. I even like the original General Snooze, which I think is good if you haven't tried it. The brown can. Uh, Weirdly, they don't pack that the same way, and I don't know why. Maybe that's like an old school thing or something. Because normally you buy a can of General Snooze, and the little packets, little portions, as they call them, little portions are all like they're put in the can in like a little spiral, right? And but the when you get the original General Snooze, they're all just like thrown in there haphazardly. Not sure what's going on there.
Oh,
Our
we're
guest,
talking about snus?
yeah,
Snooze?
the snooze, yeah.
I just walked in. Wow.
Our guest says Göteborg's Rapé on the way. I haven't tried the rape snooze yet, uh, but
Rape snooze. It sounds
intriguing.
edgy.
Yeah, intriguing. The problem, the reason I buy General Snooze is because Sheetz sells it, and so that makes it very easy for me. Uh, because the only other way you can get snus is you have to order it directly from Sweden, from Sweden, and the shipping is ridiculous on it. I mean, we're talking $50 for shipping. So like it's really only worth it if you want to put in a massive order. And well, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could do that now. Oh yeah. We officially closed. I have sold my properties in Louisiana.
Nice.
Cashed the check just the other day. So, uh, yeah, so now that takes a little bit of a burden off of me, and we've got a little more breathing room. Plus, I made about $5,000 on the deal, which not great, but I'll take it. Uh, Better than losing money, which is what I expected to happen. So I don't know. Part of me, I kind of wish I could have hung on to it. Just I don't know, as like a bolt hole. You know what I mean? Like shit gets bad. I've got a I've got a place out in the middle of nowhere in the farthest corner of America, Louisiana, that I could go run off to. I thought about that, and then I was like, realistically, am I really going to go that far away if things get that bad? Answer, no, I'm not. So I think,
Things get bad. I got a spare room for you, Jim.
thank you. Even Florida even is really far away though. If things get bad, I've got guys here. We're gonna do the thing here. You know, that's the way to do it. I mean, getting
That's
on
kind
the
of the
road.
whole point of it all, this whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Well, one of the points anyway. For sure. Uh, you know, I mean, some people seem to think that our associations are fake and gay because, well, it's all based around antisocial tendencies, which what is antisocial? Oh, well, it's the racism. Racism is antisocial.
No, it's actually
Okay,
pretty
well, you
pretty commonplace where I'm from.
yeah, okay. And this is from a guy who's a racist and also an anti-Semite. And he's like, "No, this is lame. You all are wignats and uh it's pointless. You should instead be talking to your normie neighbors instead of, talking to these people because they're all psychotic Wignat basement Nazis." Yeah, it it says more about him than it does about us, I think, when you see the frame uh, these people have, and then I compare that to my own experiences of talking to people in this thing. Like my neighbors are all boomers, uh, and they're just not interested in socializing. They're just not. Like, uh, and my one neighbor is a jagoff. I think I've talked about the jagoff before on my on the show. Um, I don't know. A part of me feels like I need to go next. I need to go across the street and talk to that guy because like he's now at the point where he's now scaring my daughter where she won't go over there to play with his kids because she's scared of him.
You scared of him? Like how
Yeah,
so?
because he's mean. She says he's mean.
So he yells at her?
She hasn't said that he yelled at her. It's more just I think he just intimidates her because he's mean. I think is what it is. Chicken's kind of sensitive, so he gets that from me. So because of that, I think is part of that is what's going on here. So I don't know. I feel like I need to go across the street and talk to this guy and be like, look, you get. I don't know whose kids these are or from which marriage, but like they come over to visit. Wouldn't it be nice for them to play with another little girl instead of playing in the yard by themselves, right? I mean, you can rationally see that that's better to have a playmate than not, right?
Oh yeah. I
So,
just same thing today. Well, not the same thing, but yeah, I mean my son and the neighbor boy were playing all day today.
oh, that's nice.
And that with the the lesbian neighbors. they
Oh, those people. Oh, right, I forgot. Ah,
so
lesbian,
like
right?
you what?
Gee, though, doesn't one of them have a Jeep? I thought you said one of
Yeah.
them had a, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't had any issues with them besides them never having their dogs on a leash, but um yeah, I mean just that's tough whenever you have an issue with the parent because if the kids are getting along and having fun,
Right.
if your daughter's scared to go over there, I mean, you can't. I mean, what can you really do? I mean, you go over there and say, "Hey, you're scaring my daughter," and he's going to say, "Well, it's my house. I'll do whatever the hell I want. I'm not yelling at your daughter as long as he's not doing stuff like that."
Yeah. Well, yeah, right, exactly. That's what I mean is like I've been trying to game it out in my head. And it's like, you know, I'm not telling you how to be, but what I am saying is that maybe for your daughter's sake, you know, uh, make it so that this little girl that lives just across the street from you, that's right around her age, that she likes playing with, would feel more comfortable coming over. I don't think that's a lot to ask. And uh, yeah, I don't think that's a lot to ask because
So are they like
it's his
your yard?
house, property, it's all that. Okay, fine. He can have rules. Okay. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that like he just because of his I don't know, I guess his attitude, he scares my daughter. And so like the other day, uh the little girl was over there playing in the yard by herself. And I noticed that and I said, "Hey, chicken, your friend's over there outside playing. Why don't you go over play with her?" And she wouldn't do it. She was like, "No, I don't want to go over there. Her daddy is mean." That's it's one thing to get too much into another guy's business on his own property, but like, come on, work something out here, because this is not as good of a situation as it could be. I'll put it like that. We could make improvements here. And my other neighbors, they're not shitty. They're just not. I mean, most people these days are just not very social. It's very strange. I remember being younger and how social adults were. Um, and now it's like I never even see them. Now, some of that is because of my schedule, sure. But the only time I met them was going around the neighborhood with chickens so that she could sell her things that she was selling to make enough money to go to horse camp. And they're the ones that answered the door, seem like good people, but like I said, they're all boomers. So like their kids are grown for the most part. And I mean the people up the street from me seem like they have dinner parties a lot. I noticed that there's like it seems like every couple of weeks there's a bunch of cars parked outside their house. Uh, why we haven't been invited yet, I don't know, but okay. Um, and then the other people, I think they have a daughter, except I'm unclear as to whether she lives with them or not. I almost never see the little girl outside. Um, so I don't know what's going on there, but they're nice people. Um, their cat is terrible, but they're nice people.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder if that little boy stays at that house all the time next door, because there was a period of time I didn't see him for like 2 weeks. I didn't know if they were with their dad or what, but yeah, then all of a sudden I'll see him outside a lot, and who knows? You
Yeah,
don't.
I
You
know that situation with the Jagoff where, like, because I've seen the custody exchange happen, uh, where like his ex-wife or her ex-husband will show up, you know, and drop off kids and then drive away, and then uh, same thing, or they'll come to pick them up, after they've been there for a weekend or whatever. Um, so yeah, that could be what's going on there. Bash's father showed up. Missed you last week, sir. He says we need block parties. Neighborhood beers break the ice well. Yeah, my wife actually thought about that too. She was like, maybe we should have like a block party. Um, and I was like,
that
well,
would be very cool,
the problem,
but I've never
uh,
experienced one.
yeah, no, I never have either. Now that I think about it, the only problem is we have this apartment complex that's
Oof.
up behind, like like way behind our property, but it's still there. And I was like, yeah, if we just had like a block party, like where everybody's out in the street, then like some of these people would probably start wandering down. And then it would be, and she's like, well, you just do it by invitation only. And you just don't invite them. And I was like, yeah, but then it's still, they're going to come down and then they're going to be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, I'm black. I'm a mulatto. And then like, you're going to be like, no, sorry, it's a private party. And, it just, I don't know if I want to deal with that, you know, like having to go through the whole rigmarole of like, securing the perimeter of the party and like telling people that they're not welcome, they need to leave, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it comes down to actually planning something like this out, just don't. I wouldn't even worry about that. Just don't do it. Just like have the block party. If the people come, they come. If they don't, they don't. See how it goes the first time. It's one night.
Well, I guess that's true, but you don't want to put so much effort into doing something like that and then have like Negroes show up and ruin it, you know?
Well, if there's a way, hey, I keep shilling it every week, but that next door app, man, it works. Actually, I was looking at some posts on there this week, and
I
people
keep
are like,
forgetting
"Oh, you're
to
from New
look back
York."
at that. I keep forgetting to look back at that. I'm going to look at that right now. What's that? Somebody from New York? What are you saying? I'm sorry, I stepped all over you.
Somebody just moved here from New York, and they're like, we want to meet friends down here. They're boomers. They're like,
Yeah.
everywhere we lived, we had friends. It's just like nobody wants to talk. It's like I doubt it's that nobody wants to talk. It's just, I don't know what efforts they've made, but if anybody ever came and talked to me, I would be more than a gracious host in my yard or whatever. But I would definitely be game for. I mean, as long as they seem like decent people, having some beers or something like that. But yeah, I think it's definitely a good idea. The next door app. I mean, people are constantly like, "Hey, let's go have some wine by the pool," or it's mostly women. Men don't do that.
Hmm.
I got a lot of response from my home improvement stuff from men because they're that's really the men community. You sit around or you stand around the car and look at it for a while and drink beer, and talk about cars and
Yeah. Look at
dream
it.
about.
I've done that before. I don't know why this is like a thing that as men that we do, but it is true that you'll just stand around like staring at a fucking car and like talking. I don't know. Maybe it's like it gives you some kind of excuse to have something to, it gives you something to talk about, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's like sitting around a fire.
yeah, yeah, maybe that's it.
I wish I
You know?
would have had some neighbors come over this weekend. I actually had a bonfire in my backyard, kind of like I didn't even mean to. Like I just had some boxes and I was like, I'm gonna light these on fire. And I got I don't remember if I said it on the show, but I cut down a bunch of branches, and I had them in a big pile in my backyard. And I tried burning them one time and they were too fresh to burn, so they just kind of like charred and sat there. I couldn't keep the fire going.
Yeah,
But we've had a few weeks of, pretty much no rain, which is unheard of at this time of year. Um, I went out there with some boxes and pre-soaked in some gasoline because that's all I had. Put them on top of the fire, lit them, and today I have no wood in my backyard. So yeah, it burned for. I think it's
nice.
actually still burning out there. Honestly, there's still like a log that's burning from the inside. But yeah, I got rid of all that wood in the backyard, which was awesome.
I'm sorry. I'm actually looking at this next door thing.
Yeah. Did you actually? Are you in it now? Because you have to like get accepted or whatever because it's like validate your address.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing here as I was kind of going in, and they require a lot of personal information.
Really? Well, I
Well,
just had I had to
like,
get a pin basically.
yeah. Well, like for one thing, they're like, okay, we're gonna need your actual address. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, here's a made up address number on my street. And they're like, okay, now we need to verify. We'll do that with your phone. Uh, and I guess what they're doing is they're looking to see, they actually are looking at my phone. They're not just going to send me a text, is what they made it sound like. They're like, oh, yeah, like your billing address, that should be the address that you gave us. And it's like, and they're like, we're going to need your name. And I was like, my name is Harry Plinkett. And, like,
Yeah, well, they're matching it to a database, like a public records database.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
clear.
I couldn't validate through my phone number or email. They actually mailed me a postcard with my PIN to start the service.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's probably what they'll end up doing with you. They're like, oh, we couldn't validate you. Look for a postcard to be sent to you, this address in like 3 days.
Yeah, I might just do that because it sounds like I'm going to have to basically give them all of my fucking personal information and
I mean, you're
otherwise.
you're doxing yourself on an app that has nothing to do with anything as far as you don't have to worry. I wouldn't think you'd have to worry about anything, but paranormies would be
I
pretty
just
upset.
I just don't like doing it.
You've been programmed to never give out your information.
Yeah, I guess it's just my habit. I've always been that way. I've always just been the type of like I don't put my real shit into something unless it's absolutely required for the purposes that I want to accomplish using the service, that I have to have my real name or my real address or all that stuff in there. Otherwise, I just put it all fake shit. Fake birthday, fake name, fake address, fake whatever, fake country, doesn't, because it's like it's all garbage. Like I'm all that they want that stuff for is to sell advertising.
Yeah,
So
and they do it next door also. And they do sell advertising.
yeah,
It's
of
like every
course.
other post is like, "Hey, try out this new service."
Uh, well, Scooter showed up. He said he's on Nextdoor and he 1000% endorses it. 1000% endorsement from Scooter. Okay. He said, just don't be a wignat, lol.
But it's also good for it's a good swiggy alarm
Yeah.
because yeah, you like you were saying before, it's just a way for people to warn people about black people.
Yeah.
And that's not a lie. I mean, they do post up, hey, there's police activity on this corner, you know, for whatever reason, hey, don't go down this way. There's going to be cops there, or people running over my mailbox or something like that.
Yeah. I think I will sign up for this. I'll finish signing up for this later. I just thought I could look at it real quick, see if they would let me in without putting a lot of effort into it. And that's not the case.
Man, we had these one people on there. They must have had a multi-million-dollar home up the road because there's like a I wouldn't say a retirement community. It's on a golf course. They got these really nice houses out there, and man,
Oh, is that like one of those boomer 55
yeah,
plus communities?
exactly. Like
Oh,
like we have a little. It's kind of like a shopping plaza, but it's like a more hometown shopping plaza, not like big chains. And you'll see golf carts parked there all the time. Uh, all the boomers going up there to eat their lunch at the local burger shop.
yeah,
But
boomers love to do the golf cart thing where they get a golf cart and they use that to like drive around their little neighborhood area that they have.
yeah,
They love doing that. I don't know.
they'll pimp them out too.
Yeah,
They got the
yeah.
they got the zipped up side flaps for when it rains and shit.
I remember in Atlanta, I had this boomer neighbor, and he would, I'm not even kidding, he would use his golf cart to go check his mail. He would use the golf cart to drive down to the end of his driveway. I mean, we're talking like maybe 100 yards, normal suburban driveway. And he would just drive down there and get his mail. And then he would like roll up and down the neighborhood sometimes and just driving his golf cart. And it was like, uh,
Yeah, we just bought a king size bed, and somebody was selling, a headboard, footboard setup, and I mean the pictures they had, they were selling all sorts of stuff because they were must have been moving out of state, and just pictures of their house were like this was like their pictures that they were putting through the realtor and stuff. Like these were just magnificent looking everything. And
Mm-hmm.
we were going to buy it from them. They never hit us back up. So it was disappointing, but there's stuff out there. I definitely suggest that app. There's, you find deals like crazy.
Yeah, I could see that.
Ooh,
Well, yeah, fascist father. I don't know what's going on. Try calling again. Um this is the first time I've heard of anybody having that kind of a problem with TalkShoe. He said he can't call in because it says that there is no show when he calls the number. Be sure you have the show ID number correct. I confirmed, I double confirmed that I am recording. So, uh, and I'm showing up on YouTube. So, this will do. It's on the phone. That's part of the problem. You guys with the phone, stop with the phone. Like, stop trying to listen to this on your phone. I'm sorry. It seems like it causes a lot of problems if you try to participate from your smartphone, unless all you're doing is punching in numbers and calling in to talk. Which, by the way, 1-605-562-0444 to be a part of the show. Show ID number 7057256. And if that was too fast for you, you can find it on talkshoe.com, or you can go to the YouTube channel, and I have it in the show notes to the video description up there. You can refer to it. That's youtube.com/C/Jim Flanders is our channel. Uh, anyway, so he said that he had his wife and daughter were in a really bad car accident. So no injuries, I'm guessing. Or daughter, he just says baby. I don't know the sex. Wife and baby were in a car accident 2 weeks ago. Everyone is fine. 19-year-old kid blew through the stop sign and they hit each other both going about 55. Oh,
insane.
damn. Uh, I'm guessing she got T-boned. Um, I'm surprised that there were no injuries at that speed. That's pretty lucky. He says it's telling him no live show at this time. That's somebody else try to call in case he's fucking up. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. All I want to, you just try to call in, please. He says 8 stitches in his wife's arm. Son seems fine. Wow. Gotta say, that could have turned out way worse. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the exact circumstances. Like maybe uh, his wife and kid were driving in a big car, and the teenager that hit them was driving in a tiny car. That could have been part of it. Uh, but I mean, if it, at that speed, you know, he says I think she hit him, but he shouldn't have been in the intersection. Yeah.
Wait, he blew through a stop sign, but she hit him? I don't understand.
Uh, yeah, I can
Wait,
see that. Like she's traveling in one direction, and then he's coming across like from a cross street, and he just decides to just blaze through the stop sign, uh, through that intersection, and like she just nails him. I could see that.
T-bone.
Yeah.
I
Sorry,
guess. Yeah.
right. Thanks for hanging in there. I apologize. He's got to leave already. Sorry, Texas Right. Yeah, sorry I was so late today. Um, no, he says his wife was driving a Honda Pilot. Is that a minivan? I want to say
I'm not
that's
even-
it's some kind of, or is it some kind of SUV? Kid was driving a Ford SUV. Huh. So, okay, so two big cars, but still like the at that. So if she hit him, that explains why her injuries were not too bad because she would have T-boned him, and yeah, I could see that being less problematic in terms of injury risk for a car accident. So, um, like my wife, her accident that she had was like a head-on collision.
Ooh.
Yeah, and she
Yeah,
was
my
driving
wife
like
was
a
just
sedan.
bumper.
You what?
Then my wife was just she slammed into somebody's bumper and she broke her wrist doing that.
Mm. Uh, he says that they hit on the front corners. Oh, so she just clipped him. Okay. Um, Scooter says he's getting the same no live show thing too. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the problem is. I am recording. You can hear me talking. I have the little red circle that indicates I am live streaming my online meeting. I'm going to YouTube. I'm sorry. Uh, if you get free international calling on your phone, you could try Canada. See if maybe one of the other numbers works. Um, who was that knucklehead that did that? Oh, that was your pal. That was Pepe Belmont who did that. Who called the Australian number
Yeah.
and got a $50 phone bill. Oh,
No wonder he doesn't show up anymore. What happened to him? I haven't heard from him in a while.
don't you guys have regular meetings or anything?
No, I mean actually our pool party is kind of it's definitely not what it used to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean I've been so busy. Uh, it's I would definitely be up for doing a meetup, but I don't know. There's a lot of little things here and there. It's just nobody's actively organizing, at least not in this area. Now, the down south guys over in Miami area, they have a little bit different of a clique. But yeah, people aren't driving the 6, 7 hours to go down there, so they kind of have their thing. We have our thing.
Well, I know that my guys here, we're trying to get more organized. And we're sort of like wanting to move on and do some more serious shit and not just be like a drinking and dinner club, frankly, which is what I think most pool parties are. Is they're drinking clubs, they're dinner clubs. You just go to a restaurant and you all hang out and you talk about racism, stuff like that. Uh, but we are looking to do more than that, and so yeah, we've been working on that. It's a project that's in progress, but we have a meeting coming up. We're going to be doing some more work on that. I think that's going to be the way forward, frankly. Um, and those that don't want to go that way eventually are just the going to the groups are just going to fade away. Um, So, I think this is the way that we stick around and build on our strengths and actually start doing the things that we want to do. We start being the change that we want to see in the world,
Yeah, definitely.
better than TWP. Yeah, don't worry. Nobody wants that. Nobody, least of all me, believe me. Nobody wants any of that TWP shit. I had the
I'm
whole
looking
about the
Talk
armband.
Shoes live right now,
Yeah.
and you're not showing up on it.
What the hell?
Yeah, I'm looking at live now, and you're not showing up on it.
Hmm. Well, I don't always make the front page.
Well, there's literally 5. It's not like there's not multiple pages here.
Yeah.
5 shows that are live right now, and
I'm
you're
not
not
one.
one of
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they shadow banned me. I don't know. Uh, I tend to think it's more of a just technical problems on their end. I mean, could be mine. I don't know, but it seems to be working. Like I said, I'm certainly recording. Other people can hear me. So don't give me this shit about me being a boomer. All right? Fuck off, Bruce. I'm not a boomer. I'm using a service that's I'm I'm powerless to do much about it when it has problems. Um, happens sometimes. He came over from the YouTube, I see. Bruce Banner on the YouTube chat says Boomer Jim needs a Discord. I need a Discord like I need a front hole. No thanks. We're not doing that. We're not doing the Discord. Now, I will
that was
say,
the main reasons our group kind of got disorganized was because the whole leaving Discord. People have a big problem with changing platforms.
yeah, they
We
really
had
do. I don't
regular meetings on Discord.
understand. I don't understand the attachment that people have to Discord. I really don't. It's like you tell them get off of Discord, they won't do it. And they cling to it. It's weird. It's like it's it's not this is not just like a boomer tier resistance to change. This is like they love it so much, but they can't explain why that they don't want to give it up. You know what I mean? Like uh like I don't get it. But Discord, I think at this point it should be obvious to everybody that they are complicit in all of these people getting doxxed on their platform.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say don't use Discord. I would just say don't use Discord if you're going to talk about what we talk about. I mean,
That's
if you
fair
want to
enough.
do it,
Yeah,
I have a Discord that I still use, but it's nothing political or anything like that. It's mainly just music stuff.
I see. Even
But I
that
love
is a
it. I
bit
think it's great.
risky.
I love Discord.
Uh, even that I think is a bit risky because you're running this app on your computer and we don't know what what else it's doing on your computer. Like, is it could be paying attention to other things that you're doing. It could be paying attention to see what Facebook account you're looking at. It could be paying attention to see what Twitter account you're looking at. Um, you know, I would say that if you're in our thing, then you need to just get off of Discord no matter what to be 100% safe. Um, Scooter says, don't give shekels or clicks to shitty services. Yeah, there's that too. it's not always something that you're able to do these days, thanks to woke capital. It seems like you the only way to not use the services of people that promote, homos would be to go live in the woods and eat mushrooms. And because eh, they all do it. Uh, so Precious Father says Facebook isn't any better. Yeah, you're right. But again, this is one of those things where I consider that, and I don't put any real information into Facebook in terms of my real name and where I live and all of that stuff. It's all fake stuff. My birth date, I don't put any of that in there. Um, and I only access it via the website, which I feel is a little bit safer than running an app like Messenger, which I would say that if you're going to use Facebook, that's the way to do it. If you have a phone, you like to look at Facebook on your phone, then use the website. Do not use their app. Do not use the Facebook app. Do not use the Messenger app, because those definitely spy on you on your phone for sure. Um, if you just run them in a browser, you should be okay, I think, because they don't want you to do it, but they'll let you do it. They just don't like you to do it. They'll keep bugging you and be like, you should try Messenger. Be like, yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks, Zuck. Thanks, but no thanks. And in fact, there are several open source apps that you can get that are essentially uh, like they're wrappers that go around, and they just sort of make accessing Facebook through their website a little bit more app-like and a little easier. Um, and so I think that is the way to do it if you want to have a Facebook. And I get people saying don't use Facebook. To be honest, I'm only on there just because uh, there seem to be quite a few people in our thing that enjoy being on Facebook. Why, I don't know, but they do. And so I'm on there just so that I can be in touch with people. That's about it. Um, Scooter says, run them in a sandboxed browser, sandboxy.com. I haven't heard of this. I'm guessing it's some kind of uh, virtual machine type thing. Sandbox uses isolation technology to separate programs from your underlying operating system, preventing unwanted changes from happening to your personal data, programs, and applications that rest safely on your hard drive. Uh-huh. Interesting. Yeah, so you're basically doing a VM type instance with this program, this sandboxy thing. Is what it sounds like to me. Not a bad idea. I don't know how much it costs. Looks like you don't get to try it out for free.
I've never had a Facebook. Even as a normie, I've never had a Facebook. Never created an account.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Facebook is pretty gay.
Like I have no idea what even like I've seen other people's. I don't know. Are they called walls or?
Yeah, I think so.
I have no idea. But yeah, I don't even know how to navigate the damn thing.
I set one up for my real identity that I don't use because I thought that it would be more suspicious if I didn't have one. Like, I have noticed that if you tell people that you don't use Facebook, they kind of look at you funny. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Is he committing crimes or something? Why isn't he on Facebook? Everybody's on Facebook. How else are you going to get your NPC firmware updates if you're not on Facebook? You need to be on Facebook Citizen. So I'm on Facebook pretty much just for that reason, because I figure that, like, if people go looking for you and they find something, uh, or if they find nothing, then they'll keep digging. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, you give them something to find, they find it, they're like, oh, here it is. Oh well, I guess this is it. He never posts. He
Be a
likes
good
hog.
citizen. Be a
Yeah.
good citizen. Get a Facebook. It just reminds me. We just went to Legoland. That just reminds me of like the Lego movie
Yeah.
where they're all just a part of like this dystopian society of you know, be a
Hello?
good citizen.
You cut off there.
Did I?
Yeah, you cut off big time. I don't know if that was my headphones popping out or what, but I know what you mean. Like at the beginning of the movie, the Lego movie, when they're all like basically NPCs
Yeah.
together and listen, and they're all listen to the same radio station and talk about the same things and listen to the same song every day.
Yeah, and like even at I mean at Legoland, like they had like the the little single apartments or whatever. And it was like apartment A, apartment B. It was it was just kind of crazy to look at like in real life, like being in the Lego movie world.
So
It
how
was
was
just
that? Tell me about the
it,
Lego land near you. Is it a full-size park or is it just like a little thing?
just the are you talking about just Legoland or the Legoland movie? Well, they have a part of the park that's the Lego movie part, which is pretty small. I
Oh,
thought it would be bigger.
well, last week you were just saying you were going to go to Legoland, and so
Yeah.
now
Well,
you know
the park's
get the
pretty big.
update. How was Legoland? You know.
Yeah, the park's decent size. I mean, it's not like Busch Gardens or anything. Busch Gardens is a hell of a lot bigger. But but yeah, I mean, it was really fun. The the Lego movie area was pretty neat. They had the like the most state of the art stuff there because it's newer. It was a newer edition. So there's like I don't know if you ever been to Universal Studios and rode
No.
Back to the Future. Well, they have a ride that's sort of like Back to the Future was, where you just kind of sit in this thing and then it turns around and there's a big screen, like a huge IMAX screen in front of you. And you basically go like flying through the Lego world. So
Uh,
if you watch the Lego movie, I think it was two, he makes a triple decker couch.
yes, I
And
remember.
so like you're on one of the decks of this couch and you're flying through and like the whole thing is like who's the best builder or whatever. So like
Mm.
you're flying through and my favorite character out of the Lego movie was the spaceman. That was just he just cracked me up because he just talked about spaceships all the time.
I don't remember
But
that guy. Hmm.
he was the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's the guy that did the voice, Charlie
Okay.
Day.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. It's been a while since I saw the Lego movie. I don't remember a spaceman in the movie.
He wasn't a huge part of it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean you're flying through with that guy a lot of the time, and you're going against I can't even remember what it was. Basically, you're just trying to build the best thing, and you end up winning at the end, and it's really cool. My son was just terrified. I mean, he couldn't realize that it's not real. You're
Well,
looking at it in front of you, and it definitely feels like it because you're getting forward and backward and side to side and
oh, really?
air.
So the your seats move around and stuff, and
Yeah, yeah. You're just on this like big couch. It's got like 8 seats on it,
Yeah.
and you just put a seatbelt on, and it tips you back and forth. And
Huh.
the way you're looking at the screen, I mean, it feels like you're flying. And you can kind of
Interesting.
look around too, like because I was trying to point. I was like, look, there's people right there. We're not flying, boy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I always found those kind of attractions to be pretty lame.
I
TBH.
I love well because it really reminded me of Back to the Future,
Yeah.
and I absolutely love the Back to the Future ride, which they actually replaced Back to the Future with the Simpsons ride, which is a
Uh,
similar ride. Just they repurposed Back to the
well,
Future.
Back to the Future is kind of a dead franchise. I mean,
Yeah, I guess it was
unless
just
you're gonna make a fifth movie, which is
because you got
probably
to race Biff, man. It was awesome. He had his own DeLorean, and
no
he
shit,
raced.
huh? Um, yeah, I don't know, like the whole like you're sitting and then you're basically the attraction is watch a movie and
Yeah,
and
much.
then it's like, oh, you're in the movie because like your seats are shaking around and then like I I I've never like found it to be all that immersive at all, and it's mostly just annoying. But I mean, that could just be me, you know. I'm
But
never like, you know.
they had a lot more rides than I thought they would have. I mean, they had more rides than Busch Gardens has, but they
Huh.
were just smaller rides, so they could fit a bunch. Like there was just tons of stuff and a lot of little playgrounds and stuff. And there's one ride that you it's like a boat ride, and you all have your own like cannon squirt guns, and you have to crank it to squirt. And you got six cannons, three on each side, and you just go through and you have to hit the targets going through, and you get completely drenched on this ride. So yeah, we got soaked,
Oh,
and like you can battle other people that are on other boats,
really?
and you battle people that are not even on the ride; they're just walking through the park. There's cannons along the side of the ride that people can just walk up and squirt you, and you can squirt
Whoa.
them.
Damn.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore because like, I mean, you can squirt people from pretty far away with this thing, so you can like piss some people off. Like I'm sure there was some chimp outs about that.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Guarantee it. Get my hair work.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely don't want to mess with a black woman's hair.
They had a 2-story carousel.
A
It was
two-story carousel. I've never seen one
yeah,
of those. Wow. How do you get up to the second story?
there's stairs.
Well, where are the stairs? Like on,
Just you walk up, you get on the carousel, and then there's like some stairs on. There's stairs on each side of it. You walk up that, and you
like
got
they're
your
separate from the structure and then you just step over onto the carousel or the stairs are
no.
built in?
It's on the structure. It turns with it.
Okay.
So people go up to the second story, so it fits like a ton of people. That was one thing that was great about Legoland too, is I didn't have to wait very long for any of the rides. I mean, it's not as big of a park, like there's not as many people go to that park, so there's just not as many people. Plus, you know, there's so many rides that the likelihood of you waiting an hour for a ride is not very high.
Well, that's good. Because that's also really annoying. You go to one of these parks and then it's like you just spend all this time waiting in line. It just sucks.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
and they had a lot of roller coasters. I didn't realize they would have so many. And I got the boy to ride all of them. He didn't
Like,
want to. I had to pretty much force him. But, he'd be scared at first. And then I'm just, you're going to get on. You're going to get on. You better
yeah,
not cry. Waited in this line. You're going to get on. And by the time I got going, he's having a blast. He was having fun.
that's good. That's good. I think you do have to do that. is you have to basically force them to do it.
It was
Uh,
also like 95 degrees all day, so it
oh,
was super hot. It was miserably hot, and like not no breeze or nothing all day.
oh, and of course
But
it's 100% humidity down there in Florida,
yeah,
so it's got.
yeah, it's bad. And we watched a show. There was a 4D Lego movie show where basically you just put on 3D glasses and you go sit in a movie theater and you go fight. You go fight. You remember in the original movie it had President Business.
Right.
Um, well, in this little movie they have Risky Business.
Oh,
He's President Business's brother, and I guess they couldn't shell out the money for one girl.
yeah, I guess not.
But that was pretty fun. I like
Oh,
they had like mini city. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but they're like Lego recreations of cities, like Florida cities, most of them. Well, at least the first part that you walk in. So they had like a recreation of Daytona International Speedway,
oh,
um, with like little Lego NASCARs doing donuts and stuff, and they had NASA, the whole training facility. Um,
yeah, that seems to be their thing. I mean, I know that the Legoland in Atlanta, they also have those models of local landmarks.
yeah.
And
Um,
can you imagine, like, that's somebody's job,
oh
probably
yeah.
one person's job to make those. Like, how much
Wonder
does
how much
that
that's
person make in
pre.
a year? How did they get that job? You know? What were you
Like
saying?
some of these. I mean, I wonder how much of this is actually put together, and it's not like already a mold, and then they just put Legos on the outside of it. But
Mm,
some of them
mm,
actually have a
mm.
count of Legos, and some of them don't. So I'm guessing that the ones they are like, oh look, it's this many Legos, and it took this many hours to make. Those are the actual ones actually made of Legos. That I'm
Mhm.
guessing they like have some kind of like epoxy that they put inside the Lego because you can go up and touch it or whatever. It doesn't
Right.
you can take the Lego off.
Yeah.
But they had, I mean, they had the major American landmarks and stuff. Like they had a full New York City thing, with their skyline or whatever, and um, they had a whole Star Wars section, of course, because that's a huge Lego thing. So they had a whole Star Wars land with like a huge Darth Maul, just
Huh.
like little things like that. I mean, it was
Yeah. Yeah.
my
Lego
son's not old enough for Star
because
Wars, so he didn't care.
Lego is interesting because they have the rights to do Legos for all of these different IPs, and I guess that also gives them the rights to use them in other things like well, like in the Lego movie, Batman shows up. And in fact, they made an entire Lego Batman
Hmm.
movie. Actually, that was pretty good.
I never
Uh,
watched it. I have to
I-
see that.
The Lego Batman movie was pretty good. I was expecting it to be paused, which is why I was watching it because I was like, I need to check this out, make sure, because usually that's how they do you, is they'll do one and then the next one is paused. Uh, and it wasn't, and it was actually I thought it was pretty good. Had the same tone as the original Lego movie. Um, Definitely very kid appropriate, and also especially if they like Batman, it explores a little bit about his character at like a superficial kid level, which I thought was good. Um, yeah, yeah, it definitely is worth your time. I haven't seen the. Didn't they do another Lego movie? Isn't there like a Lego movie 2 now?
Yeah, we went and saw it at the drive-in.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't seen that yet. So what did you think of it?
pause as hell. Oh God.
Uh,
I mean,
uh,
the first half of the movie, you're like, oh yeah, but then they just completely flip it. You know, like you're
mm,
like all these good messages just went out the window.
yeah, yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. That's how they get you.
It was basically like fuck the patriarchy by the end of it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, it's about as globo homo as it gets by the end of that movie.
Ugh.
They basically go to globo homo land.
This is why I say to people that uh, if you're going to allow your kids to watch media, um, you need to go and check it out for yourself. And you also need to understand that even if the first one was good, if they do a sequel, the chances are very good that the sequel will have all of the stuff that you don't want in it because they figure that you are just going to assume that because the first one was wholesome that they all will be wholesome, just like with these kids shows that they put on like Netflix. Season one will be fine, but then season two is when they start putting in the gay shit. And so like what I would say is if you're looking into a show to see if it's appropriate for your child, you need to go and see what's available, and if there's multiple seasons available, you need to check out some of the latest stuff, not the early stuff. Check out the latest stuff. Because if they're already on like season 5, like by that point, if they were going to do pause, they would have paused it majorly. So you should definitely not bother with checking out the first season because they'll usually keep it under wraps for that to trick you. Um, Bash's father says Toy Story 4 will probably be awful. Yeah, probably. Um,
Yeah, I believe Bo Peep is like a feminist like icon in this movie, at least from what
oh,
I've seen.
he also says paused media is why I ordered old cartoon DVDs for my kids: DuckTales, Tailspin, Rescue Rangers, and Darkwing Duck. Huh, that's not a bad idea. Those all seem like they're pretty okay cartoons. I remember watching them when I was a kid. Um,
Yeah, but once they start school, it's really tough because then their friends are watching shows that they want to be up on, and it's
well,
tough.
I mean, for one thing, my opinion, which is that it's getting more and more to the point where I feel like it's irresponsible to send your kids to public school. And I know people don't want to hear that because, they'll say for whatever reasons they can't do it. They can't do the homeschooling. Uh, but let me see if I have that. I found this article and I had it in my prep. And do I have it up here or do I have it? No, I have it in the prep window. All right, I got to pull that up. Um, TLDR of the prep that I'm pulling up here. Uh, this teacher was basically like harassing one of her young students about how he was actually trans and he needed to uh, start transitioning, and was like constantly, pestering this kid about this. Where the hell is it? Oh, did I not save?
The kid like flipped his desk.
Huh?
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I saw a video of like maybe there was just a kid getting bullied, Is the white kid getting bullied by a bunch of freaking baboons, and he just flipped his desk over and walked out of the class.
Hmm.
But I didn't even, I just watched the video. I didn't even listen to it. You know how you just watch it through Twitter without actually listening to what happened.
Yeah.
Uh, it was just one of those things. Um, but yeah, you heard one, you've heard them all, really.
Um, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it and I can't find it, but I thought maybe it was on Daily Stormer, but that's where the video that you're talking about is. Pack of blacks bully a lone white kid in class. Boy flips desk and leaves school.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not that I'm talking about. This was uh, for some reason this cat lady teacher got the idea that this kid was like had some kind of, sexual confusion and was just leaning hard on him to start pretending to be a girl, to do the trans thing. Uh, to the point where it was really starting to bother the kid, and his parents are freaking out because they're like, "This is crazy." Um, yeah, it wasn't on Daily Stormer. Sorry, guys. I thought I had that link pulled up, and I said, "Oh, I need to put this aside. This is some prep," and failed. Um, but yeah, like so, things like that are going to keep happening, in my opinion. Like it's just going to keep happening until until we're able to really start rolling this shit back. It's going to keep happening. That I mean, we've already seen this case in Texas of the kid who his wife decided to divorce his dad, and
Yeah.
then now the ex-wife starts saying, oh, he wants to be a girl. He's wants to be a girl. He's trans. He's transitioning. And so she would like put dresses on the boy, and she gave him like a gay name. I think she was calling him Luna or something, I think I want to say. And but then he would go over to visit his dad when his dad got visitation, and he didn't actually want to do any of that. It wasn't like, I think I've heard people talking about this story and they would say, "Oh, well, the dad wasn't tolerating that. He wasn't allowing that at all." And that's not the case. It was that uh, the boy did not want to do it. He would go over to his dad's house and he didn't want to wear a dress at his dad's house. He didn't want to be called whatever gay name his cat lady mom gave to him. He wanted to be, I can't remember his name. It's like Billy or Bobby. Uh, he just wanted to be a normal boy when he was at his dad's house. And his mom, the ex-wife, turned this into a court case, and uh, it's not good because it's basically the state being like, you know, stepping in and saying, no, you have to give the child hormones and do all this shit
State
because
enforced state enforced hormone therapy.
yeah, it really is. It's disgusting. I mean, like, I can sort of understand their rationale, but like, these are little kids. This kid is like, he's not even a tween yet. I want to say he's only like 10. Uh, and this latest story that I saw, the kid was like 8 or 9, I want to say. And I feel like until things change, this shit is going to keep happening. And if you put your kids in the government school, the chances of this happening to them are non-zero. I'll just say non-zero. And if that does happen, if that does get deployed against your kid, where some cat lady teacher gets it in her head that your boy wants to actually be a girl, then you're in for big trouble, because the state is going to come down on you and force you to go and get your boy's dick chopped off.
You don't know what's good for you. You don't know what gender you are.
Yeah,
Why don't we? We're just gonna snip your dick off here, and
yeah.
we're gonna
We'll
put
give you
a science pussy on down there, and then we're gonna give you this dildo for dilation and for depth, because you gotta have the
yeah,
depth.
right. Yeah, I mean, um, and I know that that sounds apocalyptic, and people would say, "Oh, how likely is that to happen?" Well, okay, probably not a huge likelihood. I'll admit to that. Because again, I mean, we're seeing these cases pop up in the news, and they're big news stories, but they don't seem to happen that often. But I feel like if you're seeing, it's the logical principle of induction. You see one that kind of implies that it's happening in other places, for one thing, and for another, it's just like the potential consequences of this are so destructive. I feel like it's not worth the risk. So I am going to again tell all of you out there who have kids and you're sending them to the government school, or you're even sending them to a private school, which I don't consider to be that much better, frankly. Uh, please take another look at homeschooling. Please make some, consider making some sacrifices. Figure out a way to make it work, because I I keep seeing these stories, and like I said, once your kid gets caught up in this web, there's no way out, because you can't you're as a parent have no rights to say no. You don't have a right to go get a second opinion from a psychologist, and with a psychologist will say, well, I evaluated the kid and he doesn't have gender dysphoria at all. They'll just be like, well, whatever, we're still doing it, and fuck you, and you go to jail if you don't go along with this. I mean, in the case of the guy in the divorce case, he's not at quite that level, but the court is basically saying, like, issuing him a bunch of rules about what he is allowed and what he is not allowed to do to his son. Uh,
Where is that in Texas?
it was in Texas, and they have a website, and I wish I could remember the boy's name, because the website is like save the boy's name. It's like Save Billy, or Save, no, it's not that. Save Danny. No. Save David.
SaveMyPenis.org.
No, no, it's definitely not that. Uh,
Pray for my balls.
no, no, it's Save the kid's name, and I'm blanking on it. I actually was looking at that website a while back, and I kept meaning to talk about it on the show, and I think I did once or twice. Um, damn. Um,
It's disgusting. It's utterly demonic. Especially,
yeah.
I don't know if you've been going through any social media as of the last couple days, but it's Pride Month, and
Oh, yes.
I don't know if this is from a recent Pride event, but there's been some really disgusting public displays out there of these people, and I I've lived in my town for a very long time, my whole life. I know the pulse of this town. I know the majority of the people in this town how they kind of view things. This is not going to go over well in at least in my town. I know that. Um, Now you go to these, you know, coastal towns
Yeah.
in Florida, you're going to have a lot different experience than you are in mine.
Well, you say it won't go over well, right? Uh, okay. That's not really the point, though, is it? It reminds me where Borzoi told me about, and I had never heard of this, was the when the Bolsheviks first, took over Soviet Union, Russia, and turned it into the Soviet Union back in the 20s. They would go around and they would have these blasphemous Christmas parades that they would parade through the streets at Christmas time, mocking the church, mocking God and Jesus Christ and all that stuff. Very terrible stuff. And I think at first it was, you weren't required to come out there and clap for them. Uh, but that wasn't the point. The point was to humiliate and abuse the populace, to cow them, to say it's basically spiking the football, saying, well, we're in charge, so fuck you. We're doing this. You don't like it? That's your problem. We're still doing it, and you can't stop it. Oh, you want to boycott Skittles? Okay, whatever. Sell Skittles all over the world. How many, bags of Skittles do you buy in a month? You're not. We're beyond the point with these corporations where we have the ability to do boycotts on them and really have some kind of effect, I think. And they're just going to, and even if we could have any kind of effect, the dopamine hit that they get from the signaling with this shit is so great that I feel like these people would actually be totally willing to run their entire corporation into the ground. Everybody's out of a job. Everybody goes to, it goes into chapter 11 and goes into receivership. They sell off the assets. It's all closed down. No more Skittles or whatever. And they would be totally willing to do that because they would say, well, I'm a hero. Now you're not just a hero. Now you're a martyr and a hero. You're the stunningly brave CEO who refused to back down to fascism and white supremacy. You'll be able to dine out on that for the rest of your life, or until, the revolution, at least. So, James, that's it. Thank you, Megawatt. Thanks, Megawatt. Save James. SaveJames.com. Thanks, Megawatt. I appreciate that very much. Because I haven't checked in with this kid in a while. I don't know what the latest is on his case. To be honest, I did not have high hopes for him. James is a 7-year-old boy. His mother is attempting to change his gender. James prefers to be a boy, but since the age of 3, his mother has chosen to dress him as a girl and call him by the name Luna. She has enrolled him in school as a girl. He is currently in 1st grade. The teachers and administrators know that he is a boy, but the other parents and students are unaware. He is undergoing social transitioning therapy to prepare him for chemical castration at age 8. James's father, Jeff, is fighting to protect his son all alone. His mother has support and financial backing. Jeff both needs financial help with legal fees and help networking to find expert witnesses who will help him keep his son safe. The court is requiring Jeff to pay for transgender therapy and the future sexual mutilation of his son. Courts have enjoined Jeff from dressing James as a boy at school, from teaching him that he is a boy, and from sharing religious teachings on sexuality and gender. He has been accused of abuse for saying that his son is a boy.
What is social transitioning? I would imagine that's
I think
like
that just
not
means like
doing.
he just wears a dress, changes his name, and pretends to be a girl. I think is what that means.
Oh, man, the amount of Fed posting
I
should
know.
not be.
Yeah, like this is just
I tell some people about like normie people about this kind of stuff, and they tune out real quick. They're like, that's horrible, but they tune out real quick because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to face
because
what.
I mean it's terrifying. Uh because you're entirely powerless against this shit and uh your only choice would basically be I mean to allow yourself to be sent to jail or you know do like Eric Rudolph,
And
which
no politician would take
as
this.
close as I'm going to get to that type of Fed posting. But what were you saying?
No politician is going to take this up as a platform for their campaign.
Why I don't know because this is a guaranteed winner. Nobody wants this except for crazy people. And
You
there's
think Trump cares? I mean, look at my LGBTQ over there. You know,
him. I don't. Yeah, you're right. Uh,
hugging the freaking rainbow flag.
I'm not even on the hate train like everybody else in this thing is on hating Trump. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and even then, I know he's never been strong on the social issues. He doesn't care.
Well, no,
He's a
he wants to
degenerate,
pander.
you
He
know.
wants to pander to every subset he can, and I think it's to quell some of these, white supremacy, his supposed dog whistles, which were completely valid dog whistles back on his campaign. That now it just seems like he's doing everything he can to backtrack on it. Now that Trump, he's going back and forth on so many things, because he'll do an interview where he's saying, you know, everything that we want to hear, and then something else would be happening. So I think he's just he's his ear has a lot of different voices in it. Um, but as far as like him getting behind this, no, there's no way. I honestly can't see any. I mean, besides fringe politicians, that are out there like Steve King.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, if that's why Trump is doing it, it makes no sense because it's not working. It's not taking any heat off of him. But I don't think that's why he's doing it. I think he actually genuinely has these very liberal social views.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think he genuinely likes gays and likes the trannies, and he probably thinks they're funny. All that kind of thing. He doesn't think about the wider societal implications of this kind of degeneracy because frankly Trump is kind of a degenerate. He
Yeah,
was for
definitely.
a lot of his history. In a lot of ways he was.
He did ban transgenders from the military. That's
Yeah,
one thing there. But
yeah. Well, that one was interesting that he did that because I wouldn't have expected him to do that. My only guess is that he feels that like having trannies hurts our military strength, so that we can't fight wars for Israel any trannies in the army.
Yeah, well, this is another thing that goes back to what I was saying. He's got people in his ear. I guarantee he had some military guys in his ear saying, "Stop it with this. They cannot be in the military. They will die, and you're going to be blamed for them all dying." Basically. Um, but I think he had people in his ear. There's so many things that I see that it's just he's going one way and then another way. I feel like he's just being pulled in whatever direction people are whispering into his ear, because there's just no. I mean, it's still in a kosher sandwich, as much as that's been overused as a term. But yeah, hey, it just seems like he's not making decisions. He is taking what people are telling him, and that's about it.
Well, I don't know about any of that. I could go more about it, but I feel like I've talked about Trump enough, frankly.
Yeah.
Though my perspective is pretty orthogonal to what most people's are in this thing, and I would like to share it. I also like to do more comfy content, frankly. That even though some of it
Yeah.
is a bit triggering, it's triggering because it's something that you need to know about, not because I don't know. I'm doing oven posting, where we're going to talk about tranny surgery and stuff. Uh,
Yeah, that was literally like the first comment today was like, I'm sick of all these like you know, tranny this and all my podcasts. I'm sick of it. I'm like, well, there goes all the prep.
right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't bring these things up as like the outrage of the day, and then we all talk about it, and then people get mad, and then we move on and we kind of forget about it. I feel like I am talking about this stuff because I think it's something people need to know, and people need to understand that this is a thing and this is happening, and you need to make a hard decision about sending your kids to government school or even a private school, frankly, even a Catholic school, frankly. Any Anytime you are sending your kid out to be educated by somebody else and they have any kind of institutional authority or power in some regard, you're giving up control over your child's education and you're potentially exposing them to this risk. Uh, Thanks, Megawatt, because not only I went to go check the blog to see what's the latest going on with James. Looks like it hasn't been updated since Friday. So I was looking to see if there was more information about what's going on with his case. And they just they haven't really posted much about his case. Last update we got on his case was like from a couple weeks back. So I don't know what's going on with James's case. I do know that his mom was trying to keep his dad from getting the boy a haircut, and because of course she's making the boy grow his hair long because she's trying to make it more convincing that he's trying to be a girl, and so now like they have this thing where when he gets custody of the boy, he basically takes the boy to get a haircut because the judge allowed that. So, but that's what I mean is, now you're in a position where you are now having to argue a case in court in front of a judge, and some judge is sitting there and he's going to be the one who decides what happens. Not a good place to be. Even if you have the most based of judges. Still not a good place to be. Because you're not in control, you're not in charge. So, frankly, this is child abuse, and I think there's going to be a reckoning in the future for this. I would like to see trials. I would like to see executions, frankly. All done within due processes of law, of course, by elected officials. No vigilante justice here, but I would like to see that. I would like to see corporations being held liable, having to pay out money as restitution to people who were taken in by this mass hysteria. And for the massive child abuse that's been going on and is still going on and is being perpetrated on these innocent kids, yeah, swift trial, a speedy execution, frankly.
We need that long march against the institutions.
Yeah. Bash's father points out that America isn't dying, it's being killed, and the people killing it have names and addresses. Quite right. And that's about right up at the line there. I'm just going to keep towing that line. Gotta be careful. He also says, for most parents, school is just a state babysitter after the age of 5. Even my parents said sending us to school, public school, is the worst thing for us they ever did. And I started school over 25 years ago. Yeah, same. My parents never said that, but I was going to school back then. And even back then, it was not, you know, wasn't anything like it is now, but, damn. But they also like to post news stories on the blog. And here's the news story that I was talking about. This is from the Statesman Journal. I believe this is in North Carolina. Parents of an elementary school student are suing the Wood District for $1 million. Say that a second grade teacher kept their son from recess and educated him without their permission about being transgender. Second grade, that's 6 years old. 6 years old. Oh, no, this is in Oregon, excuse me. This is Oregon. The student was 8 years old when his teacher, I thought second grade was like 6, or I don't know. The student was 8
second grade,
years old when
7.
Really?
Because kindergarten's 5.
Yeah, you're right. I got it. You're right. I forgot kindergarten. The student was 8 years old when his teacher, after noticing the boy used the staff bathroom, pulled him aside and kept him from recess and showed him videos and books in an effort to promote him becoming transgender, according to the complaint. District Superintendent Chuck Ransom declined to comment on the case, citing the pending litigation. The then second grader at Nellie Muir Elementary School and his parents had made arrangements with the school for him to use the staff restroom because of a digestive-related medical condition. His teacher assumed the boy was not comfortable using the public boys' restroom because he was transgender. According to the lawsuit, the complaint also alleges the following. In April of last year, without notifying the parents, without any authorization from the school district, the teacher began developing a lesson plan to help the boy understand what it meant to be transgender. She then began keeping the student inside the classroom alone during recess at least 3 times to show him videos and teach him it is acceptable to become transgender. These lessons included episodes of the reality television series I Am Jazz, books about Jazz Jennings, and Who Are You? The Kid's Guide to Gender Identity, and discussions on the difference between male and female body parts. The books and show, which were recommended by an unknown non-school employee transgender individual, exposed the boy to sexual topics and sexual discussions, according to the lawsuit. During the lessons, the student was not allowed to go outside for recess until he finished the videos or books. At the end of the school week, the teacher told the boy to take the books home and share them with his family. His parents first found out about the lessons when he brought the books home. They filed a complaint with the school, but the said school officials minimized what had occurred, telling them if this happened in Portland, it would not be a big deal. Well, they're not wrong about that. School stated in a hearing letter that evidence was found that the teacher pulled the student from regular activities and shared potentially controversial materials without his parents' permission. Officials recommended the teacher follow school policy when it comes to
I recommend
controversial.
this teacher. Yeah, redacted.
Yeah. I have some recommendations for this teacher, faux show. In fact, I wouldn't go so far as to call them recommendations because that would imply that she could take them or leave them. What I'm envisioning, she gonna get it, regardless of how she thinks about it. The lessons had lasting damage, according to the lawsuit. The boy became confused about whether he was going to turn into a girl. He now shies away from playing with girl toys or playing girl-related games. He underwent personality changes, becoming more depressed, aggressive, and isolated, and now attends counseling. He has also become afraid of attending his current school, seeing the teacher, and using the boys' bathroom. His parents have also struggled with anxiety, stress, and depression following the incident. Parents now fear their son will have gender identity issues because the teacher, not them, taught their son about this identity. The lawsuit accuses the teacher of false imprisonment for confining the student during recess time without a valid reason and claims the school breached the special duty entrusted by the law to supervise teachers and protect students from controversial topics and emotional harm. Well, good luck with that. This is, I'm guessing, not in the paused part of Oregon. It's probably further out, eastern part of the state. I have to look it up on a map. But yeah. And here's another story. Now, this is, of course, from the UK. Judges in the UK order the transition of a 4-year-old, ignoring social services counselors and clinic experts who objected. The transgender child abuse movement is not about medicine or psychology. It's a political movement to radically alter or destroy the traditional family. These are editorial comments. This is back from on the Save James blog, which is mainly done by this guy's new. He either remarried or it's his girlfriend. His woman does this. Let's see. So basically, what this is a judge is ruling that a couple can send their 4-year-old foster son to school in girls' clothing after allowing him to identify as a girl. Judge decreed that despite objections by social services of Lancashire County, which had argued that the unnamed couple had acted in a precipitate manner in relation to perceived gender dysphoria, the boy should not be removed from his parents' care as had been requested by the Lancashire Council officials. So here we go again. I could go on. There's more to the story. But basically, we have even the mechanisms of the state. And this is on the pedophiles saying, hey, hold up just a minute there. Let's hold on. No. We don't need to be doing that for a 4-year-old boy. No. Slow down. Or we're going to take him away from you because they're fostering this kid. This is not their child. They are foster parents. And so even the Lancashire, local government is saying, no, we don't like this. And instead, here's a judge just being like, nope, go right ahead. Go right ahead and do this. In late 2018, staff of the NHS Gender Identity Development Service, GIDS, missing the R there, at London's Tavistock Clinic asserted that some cases of children claiming gender dysphoria had not been adequately assessed. Some patients agreed with senior staff about these concerns, leading to an investigation. February 2019, the governor of the NHS Trust, who operated Tavistock, resigned, having denounced its blinkered attitude to the concerns. 5 former NHS clinicians who resigned from Tavistock alleged that life-changing medical intervention for children and teens have been granted without sufficient evidence of its long-term effects. So this same foster family, getting to the TLDR here, she skips right to it in the blog. The people that are going to court to get their kid, to have their kid be allowed to transition at 4 years old, they have their own child who is 3, and they transitioned that, I'm guessing probably a little boy, to make him a tranny. And so now, oh, look at that, they get a foster child, and oh, this one's trans too. How did that happen? So
Must be something in the water.
must be. So again, I know that some people tune into the show because they want the comfy content, and I agree. That's why I do it. One of our guests was saying that before we started. He was in the chat talking about it. I don't bring up this stuff lightly. I don't bring it up as like, let's be outraged about it and not do anything about it. I bring this up because, like I said, this is something that if you're a parent, you need to know that this is happening, and this is going to keep happening until we make some serious changes in the way that we govern our countries. He says, I can't, it's the same guy, I think. He says, I came here for lawn posting and I get this. What the fuck? Sorry.
I've always got stories. Always.
Oh, yeah. I just want to make sure that we get the word out about these things, because it's not something that I hear talked about, and I'm not doing it just to make everybody outraged and we all get outraged together and we all get outraged boners and then we move on to the next thing.
You know what I like to do after these kind of stories is wash the filth off of me. And I like to do that with some Mighty White soap.
Oh, you got some of that?
I will be, actually.
You
I've
will
been
be.
in contact with the MightyWhiteSoapCo.com guy.
All right, cool. Well, let me finish this out. I want to do this real quick. Now, this is kind of old, so I don't have the latest news, but this is the latest news on James's case. Pre-trial hearing is scheduled before Judge Kim Cooks on 22nd May. The hearing helps Judge Cooks understand what issues still need to be resolved at trial and to set a final trial date. The trial date can be up to a year away, which adds to the legal fees. Judge Cooks could require costly legal activities before trial, such as mandatory arbitration, a final settlement conference, or other legal activities. Associate Judge Scott Beauchamp meets with counsel after the pretrial hearing to discuss the issues relating to Anne Gorgulis's motions. I don't know. I think that's the ex-wife. It is not an evidentiary hearing, so the lawyers only will probably meet in his chambers for review. The judge says he is not inclined to seal the records and that the haircut issue has already been adjudicated. We expect a flurry of costly legal activity by Anne Georgoulis and her lawyer. The custody evaluation is still going. We have no further updates from Dr. Arbitron or Al Britton. As soon as we know when that pretrial is set, we can really move forward and work towards getting these boys home with dad all the time. Yeah, now obviously the 22nd of May has come and gone, but that is the most recent post that this lady made on the blog talking about the case. So I don't know if that's good or bad. Yeah, because there's one entry on the 20th, and there's another one on the 27th. Doesn't say anything about James's case. So
Wait, he's a twin?
yeah, he has a brother named Jude.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm surprised that the mom isn't going for the Guranga and trying to turn them both into trannies. Frankly. But yeah, so I've heard the Mighty White soap is good. I haven't tried it myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out.
Out.
Actually,
I know they have pretty funny names for the different soaps that they have.
yeah, I'm getting what is one of it that has like bourbon and honey.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I'm getting that one. I've heard a lot of good things. Actually, I think Spectre was shilling that one. He said he really liked that. Um, and I'm also getting one with the activated charcoal and I think lemon or something like that. Um, just because activated charcoal is supposed to be good for detoxifying and stuff like that. So I'll try it out,
Oh,
see
it is.
what it's like.
I don't know about rubbing it on your body. I don't know how that will help, but it's activated charcoal it is good for like if you get poisoned, they'll dump that in your system and that can help soak up the toxins. Um, I forget exactly how it works, but it's something about the chemical nature of the charcoal where it's very reactive to all kinds of chemicals where it'll just soak it up and bind it and nullify it from having any it'll bond to the whatever the toxin is and take it out of your system basically. I don't know about rubbing it on yourself, but okay.
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I would imagine if he took the time to make it into a soap, he might know a little bit more about it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
I just figured I'd try it, see if I
Yeah, what
feel
the hell, right?
less
I mean,
toxic.
yeah, what the
Especially if
hell?
I'm putting pesticides on myself, not wearing long sleeves. Um, it might help get some of those pesticides off me.
Good point. Good point. That's right. We were talking about that last week. You're spraying all that pesticide all over yourself. You're not using your PPE, son.
But the guy is actually sending me some beard oil and beard balm or something. I'm not exactly sure what he said. He's gonna send me some oil. I know that he made me something. It's
Oh
not
yeah.
yet for sale. He's just kind of testing it out. I know Roscoe got some of it and he said it was amazing. I've never actually put any kind of product in my beard before, um, which in this day and age is unheard of. But yeah, I'm gonna try out
I've
whatever he.
either. So um, I don't know. Maybe that's how you get the I don't know. My beard hair is always very curly and very rough. So uh, if that beard balm or beard oil helps with that, that'd be nice. Of course, I really only wear beards in the wintertime.
Yeah, he was asking me all sorts of questions like what do I do right now as far as washing my beard or whatever, and what what I'm looking for. Am I looking for softness? Because I get really bad like beard dandruff because I guess my skin gets dry underneath there.
Oosh.
Um, so so I'm that was one of the things he was asking me about. So I'm guessing there's some sort of moisturizer or whatever that's going to be in it. I never really got into the whole beard grooming. Well, I mean, I groom my beard, but as far as putting product in my beard, I never did that. From everybody that does do that, they always have great things to say. And the whole beard dandruff it's embarrassing, honestly. And I
Yeah.
probably should have done something about that a long time ago. But yeah,
Well,
I'll as soon as I
just
get
let
it,
us
I'll let you know.
yeah, let us know when you get it and what you think. Um, Mighty White Soap Co., I believe, is the URL for their website.
Non-kosher certified.
Aha, yes.
That's actually another thing that I'd definitely like to shill. The non-kosher certified is you should get the app.
Oh,
Stop buying kosher.
you use that app?
I've used it once, but like at the grocery store, I even got my wife into it, like trying to find, you know, the needle in the haystack, which is, the non-kosher certified. Especially if you're buying cereal, it's
Oof.
near impossible.
Yeah.
We found one. It was frosted mini wheats. Is the only thing we could find that was not kosher certified.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Frosted mini wheats. Okay.
So we bought a box of frosted mini wheats.
Uh, uh,
I'm not mad. I like frosted mini wheats.
yeah, as I
Probably
recall,
better
they're not
for you
bad.
than the other dog food out there.
Yeah. Suppose there's worse cereals that you could have. So,
There's not
um,
many hot dogs either. I would think that there would be more hot dogs that were kosher certified,
hmm,
but there's really not. I mean, of course, the pork ones aren't going to be, but I mean, I was looking specifically at the beef hot dogs. I
yeah.
did not see very many of them. Of course, the one that is Hebrew National,
Mm-hmm. Of course.
but like I was looking at like Nathan's. I was like New York brand Nathan's. Yeah, they probably are. No, they're not.
They're not. They're not kosher.
No, I mean at
Spells
least I
out.
couldn't find it. I know they do hide those kosher certifications on the
Yeah,
labels,
they do.
but the K, um,
Yeah, it's not a
do
K
it.
anymore.
Go find them.
Now it's a different thing. I can't remember. Is it like the U?
Yeah,
I
the
think.
U. It's called,
Yeah.
I forget what it's called, but actually, I worked at a warehouse where I was like, "What does this U stand for?" And they were like, "Oh, that's a kosher. That's the kosher certification." I'm like, oh, yeah, Shlomo up to new tricks.
Yeah. Um, well, that's why you have the app, isn't it? I mean, you
Yeah,
use that to help you
yeah,
with
and
find.
you can suggest new ones. So if you find something that's not kosher certified that's not on there, they can update it. So I mean, it's
Uh,
the users can get the database where it needs to be,
hmm I'm
and then we
guessing
can.
that's not available in the Google Play Store. You have to download the app from their website and install it on your phone
I
manual.
believe I'm not exactly sure. I went through their actual site.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't want to. I don't want to go through that right now, but yeah,
Yeah.
just go follow them on Twitter. Same thing with the Mighty White Soap Co. Go follow them on Twitter. All their information is through there. It's definitely something to do. We need to put pressure on these companies, as much pressure as that we can put. But it's less about the boycott of the products, more about getting the word out there that all of these products they're making a cutoff of us,
Yeah.
with an ideology that we don't believe in, and that if you're a true Christian, you should definitely be completely against, especially the kosher slaughters. That's go watch you a couple kosher slaughter videos and tell me if you want to eat meat. You feel like you want to go freaking vegetarian.
Mm.
It's disgusting what they do.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, I mean they basically have to torture the animal to death. The animal
Huh.
has to be alive and basically bleeding out.
I thought that's the way they normally slaughter animals anyways. They stun them
No,
and
yeah, they
hack
stun them.
'em up, and they cut the throat and they bleed them out.
Yeah,
And
they stun them. That's the key thing, is that they actually stun them so they don't feel the pain. But the
I,
kosher slaughter, they do not stun them. It's all,
uh,
I mean, and they're running around like the shop, like as they're
really?
dying. Yeah, yeah, it's insane.
Wow. I had no idea.
I would not have believed that had I not seen the video of this cow just it cuts all over him and just running around while these Hasidic Jews are standing there trying to kill it. It's it's bad. I wish
Sweet.
I could find the link to that video, but I guarantee I'm not going to be able to find it now.
Um, well, that doesn't really sound like it's amenable to a production line type situation. Like,
Mm,
seems like
no,
that kind of drags the whole process out. So I kind of wonder if like a lot of these cases of things being kosher certified are basically just you pay, Rabbi uh, Rabbi Lehman $5,000, and then he just comes in, he looks around, and he's like, okay, I declare this kosher, and
yeah, that's basically what
that's
it is.
that they're not actually doing the actual ritual kosher slaughtering that you're talking about, like to make their hot dogs, but
Well,
they're
with the butchering, that I think that might have been a big reason why I didn't find a whole lot of hot dogs that were made like that. Or
yeah,
that were kosher certified, because that's probably the one thing that is the most costly for them, is any meat kosher certified products out
yeah,
there.
yeah,
So that's probably not as common unless you live in a high Jew area. um
yeah, yeah.
but
I mean, I also
cereals
don't
and
forget
stuff like
that.
that, they're just overseeing the process, and they're
Yeah,
basically like blessing blessing a whole like assembly line of cereal boxes with foreskins or whatever.
yeah. I mean, don't forget too that like there's different flavors of Judaism. There's the extremely liberal Jews. There's the all the way to the Hasids. Uh, so like you could just get some Reform Jew rabbi to come out, and he'll just be like, just pay me some money. Yeah, it's fine. It's kosher. You know what I mean? I feel like they would just do that. And then as long as somebody's declared it, some rabbi somewhere has declared it kosher, then they get to put that label on their food, which is really all that they want to do. Is the company all they want to do is to be able to put that little thing on their package, because it's like, why not? Like, you either have a product that there's a certain percentage of the population won't buy it, or for a small fee, you can now open up that potential market. It's a no-brainer. Of course you want to do it.
Yeah, even PETA's going after them.
Huh.
Oh, I mean, they go after everybody, but yeah,
Well, yeah.
PETA's going after the halal and kosher slaughters. I'm just kind of searching Twitter right now and finding a lot of people talking about this. Hey, there's non-kosher certified right there.
See, I knew the halal was pretty brutal. I thought for some reason I thought that kosher was not. I thought that the kosher was like pretty humane, but clearly I didn't know anything about it. So it sounds like I was wrong.
Yeah, that's also a kind of conditioning from, I mean, at least from when I grew up, when somebody said something was kosher, that meant it's okay. That
Right.
was kind of like, it's kosher, it's all good,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not so much. Yeah, you don't, once you, I mean, Greg Johnson really said it right. He's like, you really have to rethink everything, everything.
Yeah, you really do. You really do have to just develop a habit of kind of like checking yourself. As soon as you assume something, you're like, wait a minute, is that really true? I need to look into that. Like me,
Okay.
it's like I don't know where I heard that about kosher slaughtering being more humane, etc. But I heard it somewhere and it stuck in my head. I had no idea that they were actually just brutal as the Muslim version. But it makes sense. I mean, those people, they're not too far away from each other, frankly. They're pretty close
Oh,
together.
video. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, I found the video and it's very disturbing to watch.
All right. Well, I'm not clicking on that.
Yeah.
And those of our fans who want to do that, I will put it in the show notes. Uh, that's the Twitter link that you posted in the chat there.
Yeah, it's one of our guys.
Okay. Let me copy that. Put that in there before I forget. Okay.
I really like
Uh,
that account though.
Cursed
Cursed.
salad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a good account.
Funny name.
Yeah.
So I don't have any lawn updates. Like I didn't mow my lawn this weekend because I just mowed it last weekend. Uh, my mother-in-law actually was like, "Mike, do you think you are you gonna mow the lawn again this weekend?" I'm like, "Why?" Well, it's kind of been. I was like, "No, I'm not doing that. That's not how I do my lawn." She wants to go out there and do it herself. She can knock herself out, but I'm not.
Yeah, we went 2 weeks because we've been, normally it's every week down here. You have to, but we haven't had any rain. So we skipped a week, but actually the wife, she was a trooper. After Legoland, she went out there and mowed the backyard,
Wow.
which is the largest part of our yard by far. She went out there and mowed it because I asked her, I was like, hey, I'll do it, but I'm not doing it today. I'll do it tomorrow. She's like, no, I'll do the backyard today. I was like, okay. She went out there and did it, but I mowed the front yard today. And actually, I got an early Father's Day gift. Um, she bought me a pressure washer.
Nice.
Yes, because I've been wanting one, and she saw one for a good price, so she bought it. It was a decent price. It wasn't the best for the one I got, but it's a 1900 psi electric um, pressure washer. Um, it did the job for the most part. It didn't get everything up, but I did my sidewalk to the house, the stoop, and
Yeah.
like half of the driveway so far. And it's time consuming and kind of a monotonous thing. Like you just doing small lines But it is gratifying because you see like such a noticeable difference every stroke that you make on the thing. Um,
Oh
I've
yeah.
been wanting to do it for a while. I mean, I don't know if this place has ever had the concrete clean, but yeah, I mean, there's so much just algae and whatever is on that damn sidewalk from an oak tree being hanging over it for so long, for
Yeah.
30 plus years. Yeah, it was actually very gratifying to get it done and see my somewhat white sidewalk again.
Yeah, I don't know if yours is better than mine. I'd have to go and look at my pressure washer. I've used it a couple of times. I haven't needed to use it recently. But it is handy to have one of those things for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I actually washed the car with it today.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have thought you could do it, wash a car with it. I would think that would be too, might damage the paint.
Well, you got to back off. Like you just back
Uh,
up. But a
I,
lot of professional car wash places use like a power washer like that. You just have to have the right attachment because it came with three attachments. One is for, deep cleaning. Of course, you don't use that on the car. One is for soap that like your soap dispenser. I have a soap dispenser on mine, and it only activates the soap dispenser when that specific tip is on it. Um, Otherwise, it just pumps water through it. So you put
hmm,
your car into the soap dispenser and you just soap your car up, and that's just like just a stream of water or of soap and water. It's really not. It's not hard at all. Then there's the actual like it's a pressure washer, but it's not a fine tip. It's just high power, and you just back up off of it and wet your car down.
hmm, interesting.
Makes it a lot quicker. I mean,
Yeah,
you're putting more pressure on it, but no
yeah,
more pressure than your hand going over, the car. Um, Definitely don't get up close on it, but you can put the fine tip to do your rims and stuff, which
uh-huh.
saves you a lot of back braking work, getting down there and getting all the brake dust off and all that.
Hmm. Do you need to use any cleaner on your rims, or can you just do it with the water since you're using the pressure washer?
Oh yeah, just the water. I
Oh, no.
bought some here, but that didn't work.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean that thing's powerful enough. I've been pressure washing everything. Like I got done mowing today, and I was like, I'm gonna pressure wash the mower. Went out there, just pressure
Psych.
washed the mower down, got it all nice and clean.
Absolute
Uh,
madman.
I went all out. I even started to pressure wash inside the garage, but I was like, I got to take everything out of this garage to get in here, and I am not doing that. So I pressure washed where the garage door goes down because that was kind of nasty. But yeah, and I went and Friday I got a headlight restoration kit for my other car because it was the headlights are all oxidated or whatever. They're super cloudy.
Yeah.
So I went and got one of those Meguiar's. It comes with like a attachment to your drill, and you put the little the compound on there. You sand it down. You sand down
Uh-huh.
the headlight,
Yeah.
and then you put the compound on this little foam thing, and you buff
Just
it out basically,
right. Right.
and then you wipe off the compound, and then you put basically it's a clear coat. You put clear coat over it, let it dry, and yeah, look like brand new headlights.
Nice. My internet keeps cutting out. I don't know what the hell is happening.
Yeah, I was noticing you like your voice was cutting out a little bit ago, but I haven't heard anything recently.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, it keeps happening when I'm not talking. So,
Yeah.
uh, our guest
Wow.
says our guest wants to know that if you pressure washed your pressure washer,
Um, I am not gonna say it didn't cross my mind. I I looked at it and I was like, I
You
just got it. I don't
absolute
really pressure wash it yet.
fucking madman. Are you? Your wife? She's
I'm
gonna have
not
to.
saying enough time.
She's gonna
I
have to take
might.
that away from you. Your wife is gonna have to just take that thing and be like, "No, I'm putting this up. All right, stop pressure washing everything."
And I totally didn't test out one of the tips on my hand either, and hurt my hand. That didn't happen.
What are you,
Don't ever
12?
do that.
You're like a
I'm just
boy.
asking the
You're like a
pro tip.
young boy.
I am. I
Oh,
really am.
I wonder if that would hurt. No.
Yeah, that's me.
Totally.
Definitely me.
Jeez.
I'm a live and learn kind of man.
It's you can use it to spray concrete and get. I mean, how would that not hurt if you like actually hit yourself with it? Like, damn.
Well, this was also like me testing out the different tips, so I wasn't exactly sure which tip did what. I knew two of them were pretty high power, and one of them definitely wasn't. So I
Hmm.
just kind of put my hand in front of it, and it was just like, okay, no, yeah, that's not the one I need to do that with. But the other one I can totally spray myself with. The one that I actually washed the car with. It's like a ridiculous, like I don't know, like if I like after I got done mowing the lawn, and I had lawn trimmings everywhere. I spray my legs off with it.
Sprayed your legs off with it.
Yeah,
It didn't hurt.
no, not at all.
I guess maybe if you didn't have it at high pressure, I guess not. But like,
Well, that specific tip isn't that high. It's not, you know, cutting or anything like that. The one that actually takes off the shit on the concrete, it
yeah,
actually when it comes out in a spiral. So like I actually watched YouTube videos on it just to see what, how people pressure wash, if there's any certain tricks. And if you watch it on a YouTube video, you'll see it because the frames per second aren't fast enough to catch it in one stream, or it's fast enough to catch it in the swirl, however that works. But yeah, and if you move fast enough with it, you'll see the swirling on the concrete.
hmm, interesting. Mine doesn't do that I recall.
Yeah, it must be my certain kind.
Yeah,
But yeah, Fascist Father, the water jet will cut steel. Yeah, I know. And there's also I have a very low powered uh, pressure washer. They have zero tips that will definitely cut through your body. And yeah, I don't have that one. I will not be putting my hand in front of a zero tip. But I
huh.
just looking at this thing, I was like, yeah, this isn't that bad because it didn't even take everything off my sidewalk. So
Oh no.
yeah, there's spots on there that I couldn't get up. I can get down there and with my fingernail like scrape some off, but it won't come off with the pressure washer. And it is electric, not gas. No gas.
Yeah, that's probably the real deal. Mine's electric too. Uh, I think that's really all you probably need, realistically.
Yeah.
You know, um, is just a basic one that's electric powered, and because I mean, really, what do you need it? What are you doing with it? Most of the time, you're trying to clean some of the grime off of a sidewalk slash driveway, or you're trying to clean off the siding on your house. Um, and that's about the two main things people use the pressure washer for that I would think of.
And Fascist Father said professional models have gas and have onboard heaters, which that makes a lot of sense. If that was heated water, I would imagine it would take off a lot more.
Yeah, probably.
But I bet you those things are freaking expensive.
Oh yeah.
But it did get, it got it clean enough to where I'm happy. I just, I don't know. There's something about it every time I look at it, it just irks me.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna get some bleach or something and just pour it on the sidewalk because it's like one square of my sidewalk that has just like dots of green.
Hmm. Um. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that kind of thing is you just got to do several passes on it, you know?
Yeah, I did it twice, and yeah, it's not coming up. It's not coming up at all. I'm gonna have to chemically take that shit off, or get somebody that has a better one out here.
Yeah, probably.
I bought the special soap or whatever that you're supposed to put in there because I wasn't going to. I was just gonna throw some like, you know, whatever dish detergent in it or something. Because I mean, all the people online were like, "Yeah, just you don't need to go buy the stuff." But it was like $7 for this big jug that's supposed to get rid of, all the grime or whatever. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
stuff don't. It doesn't do absolutely. It's useless.
Uh,
It's purple drink in a jug.
Fascist Father says, buy a used one and it's not too expensive. You know, it's not just that. It's also, I'm really tired of dealing with small engines. So, like, if I really needed one that was gas powered, I guess, okay, then I have to have one. But, like, otherwise, I don't, you know, because then you have the starter cord and you have to, you pull that and then it won't start and then oh wait I flooded it now I have to let it sit for a bit and then you have to make sure that oh wait is the spark plug okay, all right, yes, that's fine, is it the air filter too dirty, or you know what I mean, it's just they never just small engines just are never trouble free, they just never are, there's always something going wrong with them. They're not like the engine in your car where you can get into your car and start it up day after day after day and it'll just, you know, it'll you could do that for years, never have an issue. But the small engines, they always have problems.
Yeah, I got a Briggs and Stratton engine in my
Yeah.
mower. Fascist Father just put in the chat, said Briggs and Stratton is still a bitch. The bigger ones have V twins and a shitty diode set that blows.
Yeah, see what I mean? Um he also suggested put some use muriatic acid for cleaning
Yeah,
your sidewalk.
scared of that stuff, man. I used to work with it with my uncle, and
Oh
I
yeah.
saw purple smoke or whatever that comes off of that, the
Yeah.
green smoke, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you use that on like pool decks and stuff.
Yep. Works very well.
Oh yeah, it works. Yeah, can you just buy that at like a Home Depot?
Oh yeah. You should be able to anyway. I mean, that's what I did last time. Of course, last time I bought some, I lived in Atlanta. I don't know if they have regulations here in Pennsylvania, but Florida, shit, probably dudes hanging out in the parking lot drinking that shit in Florida. So, like, you shouldn't have any problem at all going and finding it. You just got to look. I mean, you can ask, or if you don't want to ask, talk to anybody, then you look for either the pool section of your home store would have it. Uh, or if they don't have a pool section, or if it's not there, then you want to look in like they usually have a whole cleaning products aisle of all the different cleaning products that you can get, and it'd be in there probably, or it might be with stuff associated with decking, because you also use muriatic acid to clean your deck off.
Now, when you use that stuff, can you just spray it off with a hose, or do I need to, pressure wash it again?
I think you could just spray it off with a hose. I mean, all that it is extremely high concentration hydrochloric acid. Uh, so what you want to do is like basically just by like hosing it down with water, you're diluting it enough that uh, it should be fine. Also, it's so because it's so concentrated, uh, it actually will gradually react with the air. And if you, that's why it comes in like a plastic bag, and you have a cap on the bottle, obviously, because that smoke that you talk about that comes off of it, what that actually is that is actually gaseous form hydrochloric acid that is sublimating off of it because it is so concentrated. Um, and so it doesn't last very long. It will seek out and try to find something to react with, and that dilutes it. So yeah, just hosing down your sidewalk would be okay. But I think the combination of doing the muriatic acid and then hitting it with the pressure washer would be what you would want to do myself. Or maybe even mix the muriatic acid with the water in your pressure washer tank and use that way. I think you could do that.
Ooh, that's scary. It won't eat through anything?
Yeah, it might. I don't know. Uh, you do some research on that for yourself and see for sure. I have you raise a good point. That might not be good for your pressure washer to put muriatic acid in it. Um, Although if you're diluting it, then it probably won't be too bad.
Yeah,
Um,
because there's also like up near the house, um, near the frame of the door where they painted. Uh, I mean, there's a bunch of paint down there too that my pressure washer won't get out. So I would imagine that would get it right up.
Probably. Although you could use paint thinner if you have paint.
Yeah,
I would think the pressure washer could get that.
it wouldn't get the paint. It must
Oh,
have been. I don't know.
she
It
must
did get some
have
paint.
the cheapest
There
model.
some paint came up, but some others wouldn't.
She must have bought you like the cheapest model that they had. I don't know.
It was at like a discount store.
Yeah,
I don't know if you got an all. Have you ever heard of Ollie's?
Ollie's. No.
Yeah, I never heard it. It's a new store here, but they seem like a pretty big chain. But we bought a few things from there. I mean, they're a decent price. Yeah, I
Mm,
could use a putty knife, I guess.
yeah. I mean, sure you could do that, but
I
what's
kind of
better
want to.
is just instead of being down there on your hands and knees with a putty knife scraping away like a slave, you just come out there with the pressure washer and you just stand up smoking a cigarette, blah, just blast it like a boss, like a white man. That's the whole point of having these power tools. Come on now. Telling people don't use the power tools, just use a hand tool. I'm sorry, this isn't the depression. All right. We're not uh
So Paula Dean's pans got sold at Ollie's after she said
Yeah,
uh,
he did the
bougie.
closeouts. Okay, so it's like I'm blanking on the name. Big Lots. It's like
Big
Big
Lot.
Lots. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like Big Lots. They have. I think they have a lot bigger of a selection than Big Lots. Like there's just tons of random things there. Um, like I bought an area rug for my living room. I mean, it's big. It's like 7 foot by 9 foot, but it really wasn't that great of a price. It was like $100 for the thing, but I mean, it's a big rug. Um,
Mm.
so I mean, I wasn't too happy with the price of that, but it was something we really like the rug. But they do have a lot of flooring, and like just carpet, that you actually lay down. Um, Random like car wash stuff I got from there, and they got patio furniture. I think they even had food there too.
Yeah, I don't know about buying food from those places. You know?
Yeah, I wasn't looking for food when I was there, so I was just
Yeah.
kind of browsing.
Well, it's more
But
like
they had
food,
cool
and you're just sort
knickknacks.
of like, really, you know, food, but whatever. Those stores are okay. I do miss Dirt Cheap, which they don't have here. Dirt Cheap was like the next level of beyond Big Lots.
Hmm.
And you could usually get some really good deals there. Great place to buy like underwear and socks. You can get underwear and socks for super cheap
Yeah,
at Dirt.
we never had one of those here.
Yeah. Um,
And where I go to Burlington Coat Factory.
really?
Yeah, for like shoes and socks, pretty much anything clothes related, I go there.
Huh. And what? Like that's cheaper than Walmart? I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, probably comparable to Walmart, maybe a little cheaper on some things, but they have a different kind of selection there. Like I can go there and like get Adidas and Pumas. They got brands that I actually wear there. But yeah, I mean, I bought a full suit there. Actually, the suit that I wore to Mania, I actually bought it from Burlington Coat Factory.
Bash's father says he shops at Ollie's all the time. Picked up a Ralph Lauren paint roller for $1 each. Food is fine. Check the date. I don't know. There's just something about it. It. I'm sure it is, but it's still just something about it. It's like you're buying this packaged food from the discount store. You know what? I don't know. It just seems like you're putting yourself at risk somehow.
What's funny is the building that Ollie's came into was used to be an H. Gregg. Like H. Gregg came in and like was gone within like 3 years.
Huh. Well, they're one of those like they sell appliances and TVs and furniture, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like a Sears, Best Buy hybrid.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know how well stores like that are going to do going forward. I feel like um, they're going to be having a lot more pressure put on them.
Well, I think there's always going to be a market for, at least for like televisions, to have a store for that because people are going to want to look at a television. You can't really go online and, oh, that looks really good. You want to see it in real life. I've never purchased a TV online. I won't. I want to see what the picture looks like before I buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
Now with like anything else, like a washer, you know, you're not going to see it in action. Stuff that you need to see in action right away.
Yeah.
You're going to need that in a store.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's I mean, I could see some people having that opinion. I just don't know how many people will have that opinion versus just buying stuff on Amazon. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah. Well,
it's
it'll like Fastest Father just said, Walmart. That's pretty much probably what it's going to end up is like
yeah,
Walmart
yeah,
is just going to go to Walmart. That's going to be your one place to see what this stuff looks like, and then everything else will be online. And you might even go to Walmart to go buy it online.
yeah. My wife
I'm
now
sure the
does
lot.
where she orders it stuff from Walmart online and has them bring it out, do the thing where they bring it out to your car so she doesn't have to go into the store.
I guess that's the best way to do it, huh?
I guess. I mean, I don't mind going into Walmart. It really seems to trigger her for some reason. I was
Can't
like,
imagine why.
well, I was like, really? I mean, like, there's, it's like all white people here now. Like, I would think, well, she's like, well, it is better, but I still don't like it. Well, why not? Well, I just don't like it. I was like, all right, fine, whatever. If you can't explain it, then I got nothing to work with, so we'll just leave it be at that. Uh, well, we're over 2 hours to be honest. I take a break. I don't actually have any break prep for the break. Uh, so I'll have to put something in later for those
You can
who listen to the podcast version. What's that?
play some Nighthawk.
Uh, nah, I can't do that. It's just go if you go it's still up there. Last I checked it has not been taken down.
Oh,
So,
it's still there. I was listening to it earlier. It's quite
oh
nice.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, well, Sven did most of the production. He did all the production work on that. He's the one that made me sound good.
Oh yeah,
I
it
just
was like almost ASMR Jim.
I just did the set list, and that was
I
back
like
when
it
I
was the
I
bit
had.
good.
Oh, thank you. Uh,
I thought
that
they were
was
good.
back when I had the satellite internet, so I didn't have the bandwidth to download all this music. So he actually had to go out and find all of the tracks that I had in my set list and download them himself to do the production. So yeah, that he really made me sound like a pro. That was great. Bash's father says he has a white Walmart and he hates it. Why? I don't get it. It's just a store. Is it like the idea of Walmart is what it is? Is it's full of stupid people or ugly people or stupid and ugly people? Is that what it is? What is it? Why do you still hate it? Because frankly,
I don't like
whenever
it just how busy it is. It's not even the diversity that pisses me off, which it
yeah,
does, but it's really just there's just too many people in it. That's why I go to Publix. Uh, I
mm,
go to Publix. I go there and pay a little extra so I don't have to deal with all the people. And it's not always dead or anything in Publix. There's still people there. It's just not as many, and everything's cleaner, and I don't know. Everything's just nicer. No, Publix isn't filled with blacks here. Yes, 7.
He says he hates it because of the people. It's the lowest class of whites, few open checkout lanes. Yeah, okay. I can understand that. Um, although you could just do the self checkout. Although, frankly, a lot of times if you're going to Walmart or other stores, I find that it's faster to just go through a regular checkout line because people will just cannot figure out the fucking self checkout. And they're so slow at like scanning their things and putting them in the bags, and it's oftentimes faster to go through the regular checkout line, and because that person, that's what they do all day long, that's their job, so they're just like beep 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 beep, they're just scanning everything super quick. um, so um, I like using self checkout as long as I'm not stuck waiting on one to come open. Then it's fine. If I can just walk in there and get access to one of the stations, then it's great because I just go in, I scan my shit, I get out. Um, but if you have to sit there and wait and you just watch these people just struggling, just absolutely struggling with the shit, and it's just like, how can it be this hard? It's really not. You know what I think a lot of it is actually, and I've noticed this too with like boomers and computers and stuff like that. Um, these things are not hard to learn how to use if you're motivated to learn how to use them. What it is it's like people get an anxiety about it because they have this idea that like they'll do something wrong and damage the machine somehow. Once you understand that at the basic level you can't really do that, I think that helps people understand that like they're not going to mess it up. Uh, Also, I think a lot of them have kind of adopted the whole "I don't know how to use computers" thing as like part of their identity, actually, in a weird way. Like just the way that they say it, they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm really not good with computers." And then they'll laugh like, "Ha, like I'm not really good with computers." Ha, right? Like,
Deal with these computers.
right, yeah, and it's just like, so I'm supposed to be impressed that you don't know how to use this extremely basic technology that black people can use all the time, and you say that you can't do it. And I'm supposed to be impressed by this. I'm supposed to have like a bonding experience with you, like, oh yeah, computers suck, man. You're so right. Like, no, you're
What's
you're
great
not.
is when
You're
they start
you're
talking
not
about
impressing everybody.
Terminator.
What's that?
What's great is when they start talking like Terminator or something, where like the robots are gonna take over.
Oh yeah, right. Bruce says checkouts and supermarkets used to be good after school jobs for kids. Yeah, it's true.
It's still true at Publix. That and old people.
Oh yeah, they still hire local kids there?
Oh yeah. I mean that's
Okay.
the ones near me. I did. That's pretty much all I see are kids working. I mean that was my first job. I was bagging groceries at Publix for years, and I moved on from
Uh
there.
I have one supermarket that's near me that is like the local supermarket where it's been there for like 40 years and still kind of looks like it's stuck in the 80s, frankly, when you go inside. Um, and it's a little more expensive than going to like Aldi or someplace like that. But I like going there just to buy little things because, everybody there is friendly and white, and they're usually like teenagers, which I really like because you really don't see that a lot anymore, is seeing teens working. It's always like if you live in an area that has a lot of illegal Mexicans, it's always fucking beaners. Um, and it's depressing because I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like these young cats these days, they don't, most of them aren't able to get jobs when they're teens. Or I don't know if that's they can't get the job, or parents have this idea that no, we don't want to make him get a job because we want him to spend more time studying or something. I don't know. But I feel like part of it is the pressure from all the illegals that makes it harder for teens to get a job. So anyway, so I like going into that little supermarket and seeing the teenagers. I don't know, there's something funny about it. I guess I've reached a new stage of being a boomer because yesterday we got invited to a pig roast. This was another one of the Catholic groups that my wife is in. And their daughter was graduating from high school. So they had a party, and I went there, and they had a pool, and I was just sort of sitting there chilling out by the pool and eating my pulled pork sandwich and uh, watching these teenagers in the pool doing teenage stuff. And I don't know, it just like, it kind of like gave me some, I don't know, like a lift, like seeing their crazy teen behavior. Like made me, I wasn't annoyed by their crazy teen. In fact, it gave me a lift. Like I felt younger being around them. And my wife called me on it. I started trying to be like the cool dad to them. And and my wife is like,
Want a
"Oh,
sip of my beer?
no, I didn't do that." But just like comments or jokes that I would make to them. And my wife is like, "Oh, you're trying to be the cool dad, huh?" And I was like, I wasn't thinking of it consciously, but I guess I am. Yeah, you know, is that lame that I'm trying to be the cool dad? I mean, I don't know. Like I just, something about being around those young kids, it really did make me kind of feel like a little restored in some way. Like that youthful vigor is just something about it is inspiring. Um, maybe it's nostalgia. I don't know. Pastor's father says it's nostalgia. He says it's great until they start acting like current year teens. Well, these were all kids. They go to Catholic school, so, and I know Catholic school, I know shit goes on at Catholic school, but like these kids all seemed like they were pretty wholesome. It's hard to say just looking at their physiognomy, but I feel like you can kind of tell a little bit based on uh, just based on their physiognomy. I feel like you can kind of tell a little bit about people.
And girls weren't wearing tea backs.
Yeah.
That's also like I guess a boomer way of saying it. I don't think people call them teabags anymore.
Bash's father says is the cool dad, but his son's friends also think he's an asshole. They're right about both. I don't
Wait,
know how. I
is
don't know how.
Fastest Father your neighbor from across the
No,
street?
no, no. He lives down south somewhere, I think.
No, he's up
So.
in Michigan. I think. Didn't he say that?
Oh no, you're right. For some reason I keep thinking he's from the south, and he's just a redneck from Michigan. You're right. I think or somewhere out in the Midwest, one of those states. Um, no, he does not. He does not live next door to me. Probably a good thing, to be honest, because I don't need the competition. Frankly, he'd be flexing on me constantly, and my wife would be like, "Well, you know, you know, whatever name he would use with us. Let's say Dave. Well, Dave. He was cutting his grass the other day." Or you know what I mean? Like he would be doing, he
Yeah, but you probably get flexed on a hell of a lot more if it was Texas, right?
oh, absolutely, yeah, if it were him because he's from
He'd be
Texas.
outside eating or a completely raw steak, mowing his lawn,
Yeah.
shirtless.
Yeah, really, or they'd be, you know, just doing one of those man flexes like where you have more toys, so you show them off. Like he'd be
Be
out
like,
there.
oh, I stand in my garage with my dumbbells, just pumping iron.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where the magic happens, baby.
Yeah, maybe I should try the home gym thing. I don't know. I think every morning I come home from work and like I said, that's when I used to go lift and now I'm just so tired. I mean, sometimes I'm scared that I'm gonna fall asleep while I'm driving home.
Oh,
Um, so maybe I have to start working out before I go to work. Ugh, then it means I have to get up earlier, which sucks. I don't know. I think I just need to get a better job. Is what I need to do.
yeah, that schedule's not
Yeah,
definitely not good.
overnights are rough, and 4 on, 3 off. Well, 4 on anyway, depending. Like, guy moves my schedule around so much that I end up, like being sometimes like this week I have 2 nights off and I'm going back to work tomorrow night for another shift. Sometimes I get 1 night off in between. One. It's
Damn.
all it almost feels like you didn't even really get any time off.
Yeah, yeah, really.
So that definitely doesn't help either.
Yeah, I would definitely like to go to like a 410 shift.
Yeah.
That's something. Yeah.
410s,
They
that's 410s is what I do. And I got to tell you, like, it's if you were doing like 410s, but you were working during the day, that would be one thing, I guess. But when you work overnights, it's just, it's, especially if you're trying to be up during the day on your days off. That's just not enough time, I think. I used to do 3 12s, and that was pretty good. You get 4 days off a week, That's pretty nice. That gives you plenty of time to switch your schedule back, readjust.
Yeah, but
You,
where are you making up that 4 hours?
well, that was the thing. That was one of the things that I did was I was like, let me come in during the day and work for 4 hours helping you out with stuff around the office so that I can get actual 40 hours a week. Um, some places that I have worked would actually just write it up to 40 hours. Like
Wow.
you would technically have only worked like 36 or 39, and then they would just write it up to 40 because that it was like one of your perquisites for doing the job because it's not easy to find people to do what I do.
Yeah, and plus working 12-hour shifts, there's hazard in just in doing that long of a shift. So I could definitely see them doing stuff like that. I haven't ever had a job that was like that. There's a lot of warehouse jobs that are like that. That 12-hour shifts 3 days a week, but they always offer come in for the 4 hours on the following day of your shift. Um, I would imagine that would make overtime a lot easier too. So like you're coming in for your 4 hours on your last day, just stay for like an 8 hour day, and you got 4 hours overtime right there.
Yeah,
If they allow.
could do that. Yeah, I mean, so that's what I used to do at the last place that I worked is I would just come in and get extra time to make up on that, bring it up to 40. Um, now, obviously, I don't have to do that because doing the 410s, but Bash's father says that's actually, he's heard of that too, that some places will pay you for 40 hours if once you hit 36. Yeah. Because, like I said, it's not always easy to find people willing to do certain jobs. And frankly, like you could be on the clock, if they did like a 13-hour shift, then you get 39 hours in 3 days. And then it's like, okay, so what? You're just going to hang around for an hour. You're probably not going to be accomplishing anything for that extra 1 hour, whether it's at the end of the night or the beginning of the night, either way, no real point. So they just write you up, they'll just write it, they'll just make it 40. Not every place does that, but so a lot of places do. Some places say 30 hours is full time. That's a good point, guest. Yeah, that's bullshit. I don't know how they could say that when I'm pretty sure that like federal government says that that's not full time. I don't know. Bash's father says on the note of overtime with biweekly pay, anything over 10 hours OT, your take home per hour is less than regular time. What, because of taxes? Um, because yeah, I know that my wife had looked at it and was like, well, if you work that there's the thing with overtime is like you can do a little bit and then you're fine, or if you do a shitload of it, you're fine. It's in between those two where if you do a moderate amount of overtime, you end up getting killed on taxes and it just gets eaten up by taxes. Whereas if you do a lot of it, then you have made enough money that you get past that marginal uh, situation where on the margins taxes eat a lot of it up, and if you just do a shift here and a shift there, then it doesn't bump you into another tax bracket. um, yeah, and he raises another good point too, is when you're on one of those schedules like I am, like a 410s or a 313s, a lot of times if you get a paid holiday, the paid holiday is 8 hours.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
one of the stipulations.
it's annoying because it's like, hey, if I were working, I'd not, it's not like I would only be working 8 hours. I would be working 10 hours. I'd be working 13 hours if I were working on Memorial Day or whatever, Martin Luther King Day. But they don't think about that. That all they think about is themselves, the people that come up with these rules, the cat ladies and HR and all them, in their day's 8 hours. So that's what it should be.
And a lot of the time they won't, like, say you're off on a Monday, and these holidays fall on a Monday, they'll make you take like one of your days off during the
Mm-hmm.
week.
Yeah.
So they paying you over, that amount. I mean,
Yep.
it would work out fine if, they would allow you to work your normal schedule. But a lot of places, I know mine is like that. Like if you work one of those 410s and you're scheduled off on a holiday, well, you miss out on that. You're going to miss, 2 hours.
Yep. It's bullshit. It's just Jewing you is basically what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, there's no other reason for it. There's no rational justification for it. This last week, actually, I worked a full week, even though we had Memorial Day on Monday. Um, and they told me, well, if you work your full shift, then you didn't take the holiday. So you get all of that holiday time gets put into your PTO bank. And I was like, whoa, okay.
That works.
Yeah, I like that.
I wish they would let us do that. That'd be cool. I'd be racking them up. Just
Yeah.
work a regular.
Well, sometimes it's nice to have a day off, when you normally wouldn't have a day
I'd
off.
rather use that day.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, you get to pick the day instead. Yeah. Yeah.
We get like 4th of July, which is weird. That 4th of July, I usually never got that off at a job, but this one they pay us for 4th of July, so we're gonna have that off too.
Huh. You never got the 4th of July off?
Yeah, every job I've ever worked, we had to work the 4th of July.
That's odd, I have to say.
Because you never, I mean, you honestly don't need the 4th of July off. You do everything at night. It's nothing. If anything, you need the next day off
Yeah. 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 Definitely. You're right.
if you're working mornings.
Yeah. If you're working during the day, yeah, you're right.
They should give you that option. Say, I'll come work during the day that day. Just give me the next day off.
Yeah.
Or if you're working night shift, of course, you take that day off. But
Yeah. Our guest says, my company calls Easter spring holiday. Ugh. I've never seen that, so I don't know who you work for, sir, but that's pretty shitty. Signs
eh,
of the times, for sure. Well, I was going to take a break, and then we just kept talking, and now we're at about 3 hours. And I know it's because of the late start. Um, I don't want to keep you up too late, Hook.
yeah, if you were going to
So,
take a break, I was probably going to bow out.
yeah, I think it's just time to go. I think 3 hours is enough, frankly, and enough shit posting and talking about topical things. Hopefully, it wasn't too triggering for you. I think guest 7 is the one. He said he was kind of burnt out on the alt-right podcasts. Yeah, I don't
We didn't
blame
get
him.
into the fistulas, so I mean,
Yeah, yeah. I do think it's valuable to have some amount of knowledge about these things. Uh, but I'm not one that gets grossed out as easily as other people do. And I don't get outraged as easily as other people do also. So it doesn't have quite the same impact on me as it does on other people. But yeah, well, that's why I do this show, because the whole point of it is we talk about stuff that I try to talk about stuff nobody else is really talking about. And of course, we also come at it from a much different and I think more human and healthy angle.
Actually, I believe TDS actually took one of your stories Friday.
Yes, they did. I heard that. I'm glad that they did, because if you'll recall, like I had not had time to sit and read that article, and I was
Yeah, that
like,
was the one that you were like, this is way too long. Yeah.
yeah, this is yeah, that was way too much for me to tackle. I was like, I'll hopefully somebody else will get it, and then they got it, and they did a pretty good job with it, I thought. So, um, but yeah, so I think we're gonna hit the road, hit the old dusty trail. Thanks everybody for listening. Sorry about the problems that we had with the calling in. I don't know what happened with that. Uh, honestly, I don't know. Try back next week, and you can be a
Maybe
part of the show.
next week, see what's going on.
You what now?
Said maybe we can test it out next week, see what's going on. Maybe it's something TalkShoe needs to fix.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it could be. Maybe I did get shadow banned. I don't know. You know. Uh, if it continues, then there's no point in me using this thing, because the whole point is that I wanted something that gave us the flexibility of you can call in on the internet, or you can actually use your phone and call in on your phone. So you don't have to be in front of your computer necessarily, you know? Um,
Yeah, but the chat is also very good. That's
yeah, the chat is nice too. Yeah.
Is there another platform that we could even use that has a chat?
I don't think so. I'd have to pay for it, basically.
Yeah,
YouTube, I could just go straight to YouTube.
that's true. But then absolutely no call in
Yeah. Uh,
unless we
I,
broadcast on YouTube from Skype or something. And
yeah.
I
I,
don't know.
I mean, I think if I were going to do something like that, I know everybody uses Discord, but I'm not doing that. There's other solutions that have uh, voice chat uh, and text chat and rooms and all of that. Like Riot does that. Uh, Riot Chat does that. If you turn on Jitsi and you can do voice chat. I was actually just doing that the other day on Riot, on the that's the Riot chat, accessible from nobody has the .biz. And
There could be some
that,
changes coming to that though.
yeah, I think there are going to be. You're right. I haven't been back to the forums in a week or so, so I haven't caught up. I don't know if I caught up on the news or not on that, but
I had a talk with Thomas Lewis, and the riot chats may be going away, at least the Ordo Evangelisterium
okay,
portion of that. But there is something set up right now. Um, just kind of going through some things. Thomas is trying to get it set up right now. So some things may be changing with that. I haven't been too much involved with that side. So if I hear more from Thomas on that, I'll let everybody know here.
okay. And I'm sure he also posts updates on what's going on to the Zoomertown forums over there at the Nobody Has the .biz forum. Nobody Has the .biz. That's in the show notes. as well. I put it in the show notes, so check that out. It's a good forum, a lot of good guys on there. Thomas is a good moderator. He's really put a lot of work into it, and it shows. It's a quality product, well moderated, not a lot of spurging going on. There is some, of course, but not a lot. And no Manson posting or anything like that is going on. It's good. It's a good scene, someplace that you want to be. But anyway, so thanks, Hook. I'll see you next week.
Good night.
And to all of you out there listening, either live or later on when I post this to the internet on the podcast, I want to thank you for listening, being a fan, and for all your support. I would ask, please remind people that I exist, that I'm still doing this show. If you like it, tell a friend. If you only want to tell your red-pilled friends, that's fine. Yeah, could just use the help in that regard. Because I do want more people to listen to it, because I think I'm doing something here that needs doing and that people should listen to. Because it's, like I said, I try to do something, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to be healthy and normal, even if we might have beliefs and opinions that are considered anathema by the current culture. But we also know that the current culture is sick and twisted and basically flipped completely on its head to where it's the opposite of what a healthy culture is, almost exactly the opposite, really. And I don't like, I'm not doing the outrage. I'm not doing the normal things that other guys in this thing do. I don't want to talk too much crap about them, but just trying to be positive, trying to inform, but also trying to be positive. Also just try to talk about more normal stuff that we can talk about and pass on knowledge and, all that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm rambling, so it's time to go. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, God bless you and keep you. And I wish all of you many sons and a lot of guns. We'll see you next week, Sunday night, 8 p.m. Until then, good day.